And we're recording. We're still missing Janina and Serious Jest, who will hopefully join us later. Okay. So, here we are. Episode 10, which I have titled A New Lead, because I didn't want to use the same title as last time. We found a picture! Okay. So, Jack, Mila, Jessica, Hector, Speedy, Miguel, and Randy return to Anthony, Texas, the Anarch territory just outside of the El Paso city limits. Their journey took them to Hickory Grove, Virginia, and to the original home of Prince James. They hoped to find a sign of him recovering there, but there wasn't any. It seems that James Clark never returned to his family since his embrace, but they did manage to find something. There was an old picture of James Clark with a friend of his. A friend that Mila is certain she saw posing as a security guard at the hotel before the attack. Is it just coincidence? Or is this security guard someone from Prince James's old life? Is he kindred or something else? The gang pulls up to the stop where the trailer used to sit. They left it behind in some tiny Texas town that had almost claimed their lives and had almost shattered the masquerade wide open. But they survived. Even Randy survived, though he had his arm taken and his good spirits stolen. Valentina is waiting for them, standing where the trailer was parked just a week before. With her are the other two members of Speedy's coterie, Chaz and Little Lucy. But there's another figure with them, someone none of you know. A woman, wearing a stylish patterned black and gray hijab that covers her hair and neck, but leaves her face open. And you guys park. Okay. So somebody has been leading humans to drive you. I think you guys were taking turns using your dominate powers, so I guess you're being dropped off. Probably in some van or one of those big SUVs.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, could you go over that last bit of the recap again? The audio was cutting out.
Okay. Valentina is waiting for you, standing where the trailer was parked just a week before. With her are the other two members of Speedy's coterie, Chaz and Little Lucy, those who you met before. But there's another figure with them, someone that you don't know. A woman wearing a stylish patterned black and gray hijab that covers her hair and neck and leaves her face open.
Got it. Okay.
We will say the guy that's been driving you, his name is Steve.
Steve.
Here we are, Steve says.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
You guys are very welcome. I'm glad to be of service.
Glad to have you.
And everybody piles out of the big... He's got one of those big SUVs.
Okay.
And see Valentina, so I'll walk up to her, give her a little bow. Thank you for meeting us here, and helping us with everything that we've been doing.
Yeah.
I have a report for our investigation in Virginia.
What did you find?
Unfortunately, as you can likely tell, we did not find Prince James.
I didn't expect you would, but it was possible and we had nowhere else to check.
It does not seem that he ever returned home after his turn. But we did find something that may be of note, and I'll pull out the picture.
Okay. The picture I've heard about, and she takes it from you.
Yes, this shows Prince James with an individual before he became kindred. I did not see this person, but I believe it was Mila. It was either Mila or
Perry?
Okay.
That's
But
one
he's
of the
not-
security guards that work at the hotel.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
I'm not sure
Interesting.
what this could necessarily mean,
This is
but
a very old photo, so like
Mm-hmm.
Perry's not human then.
no, clearly not. He must be either Kindred himself or a ghoul of Prince James, I would assume.
Or a number of other things, but those are the most likely, yeah.
And whatever else.
Okay.
But I do not know if he has been seen anywhere, but possibly we could follow up with a known location that he stays at, if that is publicly available.
We should be able to find out where he lives.
I believe that would be a good location to search. If they
Okay.
knew each other before and they've stayed together this whole time, they are likely the best of friends, I would imagine. Of course, there are many possible relationships that it could be.
Yeah, that's very good. I'm surprised that was kept from me.
Did not know, then hopefully this is a good news. Hopefully this means that.
I'll take this picture and the information to Emily immediately, and we'll be back to you as soon as we're... What time is it? Did I say what time it was when you guys got here?
No.
No, just that the sun's not eviscerating us.
Okay, so we'll say it's like 3 in the morning.
Not dead.
Okay,
so.
so yeah, I'll take the picture to Emily. She can do a little bit of research, and I'll get back to you tomorrow night. As far as where you guys can sleep tonight, I want you to stay with Speedy at his place. Speedy. And Speedy is over. He like in a little huddle over to the side with Chaz and little Lucy, and he turns to, "Yes, ma'am. I'll take care of them." And she just nods her head. What?
How's Randy? Like, does he need medical help or something? Do we need to?
No, you guys have been taking care of him, or Miguel has been taking care of him, mystically, magically with by feeding him blood. So yeah, he doesn't need a hospital, but he is not a very happy camper.
Right. Well, I can't blame him.
Yeah. And he's been sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
You guys haven't been... Well, of course, you haven't been traveling during the day. You didn't have a whole lot more to go from where he was. You made it in one night.
Okay.
Once you guys got going. You probably, unless you wanted to bring someone like 8 hours out of their way, you probably switched cars like once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you made it in one night, so you didn't have to worry about finding yourself another day sleepies.
Okay.
All right. Oh, hey, Sirius.
Sorry.
Hey, Sirius, Jess. So the only thing that happened so far is you guys got out of the car. And,
All right.
And Jack gave the picture to Valentina, and Valentina recognized the guy in the picture with James, with Prince James, recognized and declared him to be Perry, who works as a security guard at the hotel. So she said she's going to take the picture to Emily and get that looked into, and then tell you guys about it tomorrow night.
Nice.
Okay. And you guys are going to stay the night with Speedy. Because you lost your house. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Okay. So she dismisses you and makes her way to Miguel, who is still standing by the car.
And where's the Hajib girl?
She's just standing there watching.
Yeah,
Silently.
I'm like eyeballing her, trying to decide if.
Okay, so as you guys get dismissed by Valentina, then she comes up to you.
Okay.
You look good, Mila.
Thanks. I don't feel, or do I feel bonded to her?
No.
Okay, good.
You might have last week.
Good. It's been long enough then. Okay.
My name is Mahira Basha.
What brings you here?
I've come to see you.
Oh.
Did you get my note? My letter?
I did, yes. Thank you.
So, I left you in the hands of Prince James, and then it looks like everything fell apart from there.
Yeah. Yeah. But thankfully, Valentina and Emily have been, kind of taking care of all of us.
I'm not sure how I feel with you spending your time with the Anarchs, but I'm not sure how I would have felt with you learning into the Camarilla either, so I guess one is as good as the other.
Yeah.
Come with me, let's take a walk.
Okay.
She seems to be trying to get you away from your coterie.
Like in a weird way? Like
No.
in a like I
No,
feel
in the
suspicious?
same way. Just come with me, let's go for a walk.
Okay.
So you can
gonna,
can invite them, or you can be like, yeah, okay, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna try and throw eyeballs at them. Ideally, it would be Jessica.
Okay.
Just to kind of be like, keep an eye out.
All right. So instead, you're gonna throw eyeballs at the everybody, at all three of them.
Yeah. And then I'll walk with her.
Right away, you're getting the feeling that she's not a very social person. She's kind of standoffish, kind of blunt, and like you almost get the sense that she's like a soldier, and she's in a war and hasn't come back yet. That kind of feeling, where she's disconnected socially. So, what have you learned from our clan, about our clan? I assume there was no other child of Hakim here to teach you.
Yeah, there wasn't. I don't really know what, other than we're not well liked. Or,
No.
when people find out that's what I am, they're usually like either just turned off by it or almost frightened by it.
Well, for hundreds of years, well, for thousands of years, our clan had a bit of a weakness where when we feed from other kindred, we have trouble stopping.
I experienced that.
Well, you have already. Interesting. Well, a few hundred years ago, the Tremere clan cursed us and made it so that kindred blood is poison to us, so that we couldn't feed that way anymore. About 2 years ago, that curse was broken.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll get to that. I don't want to scare you too much yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're going to be afraid of you when they don't know you, when they find out that you're a child of Akeem, because we have that weakness. We have that hunger. So, I'm afraid, Mila, that I've brought you into our clan at a very difficult time. One of our most, in fact, one of all kindred's most ancient Urshulgi has awoken from an 18th century sleep. He woke up just a few years ago. And when he woke up, he wasn't happy with the direction our clan had been taking. And he destroyed many of us. He destroyed many of us, and he's rebuilt the clan in his image to worship Hakim, to be judge, jury, and executioner for all kindred, and to bring them under his thumb. Many of us escaped and separated ourselves from him.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I'm afraid that's the situation where you are.
And where is he?
He's in our ancestral fortress,
Oh, okay.
far from here in the Middle East. In Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been, actually. Okay. I've never been there. My sire has. My sire was born in Egypt. He was in Egypt when the English took it from the Ottoman Empire.
Interesting.
Okay. So, to give a quick summary what our clan is, we are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And for most of us, it is a religious code that gives us the rules that we live and judge by.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us follow Islam, but that's not a necessity anymore. And like I said, those who follow Urshulgi are their code is coming from worship of Hakim, our original founder.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have any questions so far?
I mean, I don't think so.
What disciplines were you embraced into?
Let me pull up my character sheet.
Obfuscate and celerity?
Yeah, I believe that was a, yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you say that?
Obfuscate.
And celerity.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's, yeah. Very nice, very nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone attempted to teach you any blood sorcery as of yet?
No.
Okay, so I'll be starting that from the beginning then. Okay. Urshulgi is perhaps the most powerful blood sorcerer in the world. And it is with that power, with that magic, that he was able to destroy the curse that the Tremere had put on us. So, our clan is full of powerful sorcerers. Unfortunately, or maybe rather fortunately, you've been embraced into what we call the warrior caste. So although blood sorcery is available to us, it's not likely you'll ever become its master. But I can teach you a few tricks. It'll take some time and some training. It's not very easy, especially for someone who wasn't much into the occult in life, and you weren't, correct?
No.
I didn't see any ancient tomes or signs of witchcraft or Wiccans in your home when I was there.
Mm-mm.
So it was, yeah. I didn't see much signs of being a warrior either. It might have been better for you if one of the viziers had embraced you, but I was the one that was here, and I believe you will shine and make a very great warrior. So our clan was created. Who'd we lose? Or who'd we gain?
I don't know.
Okay, you're still here. So, our clan was created to fight the Bali, the infernal vampires who worship Satan and do his bidding.
Okay.
This was thousands and thousands of years ago. And there have been several great Bali wars where we have, it was mostly all of the clans participated, but we were the warriors and assassins that did most of the job. And now my sire thinks the Bali are returning. He's seen signs of them in an organization in the infernal vampires. So, like I said, it's not a very good time to have brought you into the clan, and I apologize for that. I'd much rather have met you 10 years before. You wouldn't have had to jump into this.
I mean, I don't honestly mind. And I think, the night that you did it was almost perfect because it just fit.
I watched you kill him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, just by your letter and everything, I figured you saw it.
And I do believe that I thought anyway that the police would have found you. I thought it would be good if I could teach you, train you, and let our kindred disciplines work their magic, make you a better warrior and a better assassin.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you took some care into making sure you weren't caught, but it really appeared to me that that was a secondary goal, and your primary goal was to kill him. And you would have done it either way, even if you were 100% sure you'd be caught. That was the impression I had. And that's why I embraced you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about him? The man you killed.
A lot. Well, I guess not a lot. I just knew, I guess a lot about his family dynamic because I'd been their social worker for a while. So I'd seen I'd seen what he had done to his wife, what he had done to his kid. Nothing was changing to fix the situation. So, I do know, from what I understand, you were hired to kill him. Is that right?
That is? Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know the reasoning on why you were hired to do that. Wait, do I?
No, you don't.
Okay. Because I remember maybe learning something, but I don't know what it is. Okay.
Wow, there's a good storm outside. Oh my god.
Yay!
Okay, where were we? I got distracted by the raining. Oh my god, it's raining. There's like water falling from the sky in the desert. It's awesome.
Yeah, that does not happen in El Paso.
I didn't think it was gonna really rain. I thought it was just gonna do some wind and maybe muddy up the car. Okay, I got distracted. Where were we? Oh, we were talking about
the reason why she was hired to kill him.
Oh, that's between me and the person that hired me.
Okay.
But I can tell you that in investigating him, I found some very interesting things that lead to the infernal. I hunt infernal vampires. I specialize in them.
And what's infernal?
Vampires that worship Satan.
Oh, so those are like the Bali?
The Bali. But the Bali was more of a... Clan is the wrong word, but they were an organization. And that organization is broken. It is gone. I've seen no sign of its return, but my sire, he's much better at hunting them than I am, at digging into the depths. And he is quite certain that the Bali are making a return. Slowly.
Okay. Hmm. So, is his wife and his child in danger?
Well, you killed him and he stayed dead, correct?
Yes, as far as I know.
And he was not a vampire. He wasn't kindred. If he was something, if he stayed dead, then he's dead.
And the fact that his son is having dreams, like, I'm trying to remember what Jessica had said on the phone that I overheard the conversation and then found
He had a nightmare and he screamed and he woke up his mom and then he told her that his father was a demon.
Oh, okay.
And that his father told him he was going to kill him.
Okay.
That's
so,
what...
The kid having dreams of, like, his father was a demon trying to kill him wouldn't be a sign that they're in danger or anything. It's just post-traumatic stress type of thing.
It could be. It could be a sign. Investigate it. I'll help you. I'm going to stay in town until I feel that you're ready to travel with me.
Ready to travel with you?
Yes.
Where am I going?
On the hunt with me. I have to teach you how to be a proper warrior.
Okay, but like traveling permanently or traveling nearby?
I hunt infernals in the American Southwest. Everywhere from around Midland through Phoenix.
So I have my... Do I know that term? What is it? Coterie?
Yes. You've heard it. You don't understand it in its entirety, but it seems to be you and your friends have been referred to as a coterie on multiple occasions.
Right. So I have what we're referred to as a coterie, because I'm still learning all the lingo. Which, are them over there and I kind of point. I'm not willing to travel without them.
I'm afraid you're not going to have much say in it. As your sire, I'm the one who's responsible for you. Especially when
Hector
the one
waves
that I...
over at them, by the way.
Yeah, especially when...
He doesn't know what they're talking about,
who
but
I
he waves.
asked... Yeah, you saw her glance over at you. Especially when who I asked to take care of you has disappeared. But in kindred society, we are responsible for those we create.
Right.
I have to make sure that you're properly trained. You become a proper representative of the children of Hakim. And in a decade or so, you'll probably be strong enough to be out on your own.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll cross those bridges when we get there.
Yes. Like I said, for the time being, I'm willing to let you continue with your coterie. You seem to be doing well with them. Seems to be giving you a sense of home and a sense of camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to break that just yet. So I will be in the city for some time, and we can do some training. I can find out more about who you are, what you've already learned. Correct the things that maybe some clans have taught you wrong. Our clan is not part of the Camarilla, nor is it part of the Anarchs.
Right. No. Yeah, I understand that.
Although, given the situation that we're currently in, our leadership is discussing joining the Camarilla, as well as joining the Sabbat. So I don't know where that will lead. I myself will not join with the Sabbat.
Yeah, after what we've experienced, I wouldn't either.
What? You've already experienced the Sabbat. What have you experienced?
They're the ones, that's, what's his name, right?
Rodrigo? Yes.
The douchebag ass. Or the douche.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I can't even really remember, truth be told, but I know it wasn't good.
You should take notes.
Are they the ones hunting us right now?
No. Goldman is hunting you right now. Well, actually, Rodrigo is also, and Goldman is hunting you because Rodrigo wants you. So yeah.
So I know that we're.
That's because you murdered them.
Yeah.
You murdered a Sabbat pack when their only job was to make sure nobody left.
Defend.
They killed that woman.
She was a nobody. She was a person.
Not to
It didn't matter. Well, anyway, that's why.
Murders is the wrong word, though.
Anyway, that's why.
The Sabbat. Yeah. Okay. So Vincent is what?
Bruja. Camarilla. He's a Bruja and Primogen. He's on the Primogen Council.
I don't know a lot about Sabbat, but I do know that the Camarilla is against them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what we know?
Very much.
Okay. Oh, and that they were... Oh, no, they didn't have a werewolf. They had a shapeshift.
You saw a werewolf?
Yeah, we met one. We met the dude, right?
You did meet one, but this wasn't what you were talking about right here. Yes.
So there was a werewolf with the Sabbat?
No. That was just a shapeshifter.
A shapeshifter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a gangrel.
Hey, the Sabbat were the ones in the car with the gun.
They weren't in the car. You guys were in the car. But yes.
Yeah, but they were in that gun, like our first gunfight thing was
yes.
Sabbat.
Yes,
and
it
that
was.
weird lady.
With the shadows, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell her all that. Blah, blah,
okay.
blah, blah, blah. That's what I know.
The La Sombra clan can manipulate shadows.
La Sombra. Okay.
What's that called? Oblivion? She doesn't fuck up calling it some... Oblivion. It's the Oblivion discipline. They can manipulate shadows, move within shadows, control shadows, see through shadows.
Okay, well that's what she was. But yeah, so that's basically everything that happened with them.
Okay.
So right now we don't, we're not in very good standing with anybody except the Anarchs at this current time.
Well, at least you were able to find them, I suppose.
But,
I might have gotten here and found you killed.
This is true. But at the same time, we all did what we felt was the right thing. And I think that's, important.
Here's an interesting question for you, Mila.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a religious code? Not really?
No. Religious, no. I would say no.
You should find one.
Trying to do, the right thing. And she's not talking about that thing, right?
About what thing?
Conviction?
No. Well, sort of. Yeah. She is kind of talking about your convictions.
Okay. So, my conviction, I would, that I think that all children are innocent and they should be protected.
Okay. So you do have a strong moral code. Yeah. It's just not based off of religion.
Right.
And it's not just kindred, most people have difficulty holding on to a moral code without basing it on religion. And since a moral code is so important to our clan, it's what we base our judgments upon.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that most of us are religious.
That makes sense.
But no, it's not necessary. I will not require you to find religion.
Yeah. But, basing I think all of us pretty much, with the exception of maybe Hector sometimes, he's a little bit young, base our decisions on what we feel is right and justified.
That's good.
And sometimes we have heated discussions over what's right and what isn't. So
that's very good.
We are where we are and it's a mess, but we've gotten here at least, based on what we feel was the right decision. So,
That's very good. That's very good. Did we gain somebody? Janina is stuck in a social situation.
Spoken like a true introvert.
Sounds like something I'd say too. I can't get out of this social situation. Okay. Where were we? I got distracted. I got distracted too easy.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
I was just wondering we are where we are because I'm trying to make.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. That's very good. I'm glad to hear that the members of your coterie all have a code, even if it's not religious. It's important. And like I said, a religious code isn't as important. It is to have some kind of moral code to guide the decisions that you make. Like I said, I'm not going to force any religion upon you. In a lot of cases, we tend to embrace the religious. But like I said, what I saw was a woman who didn't really know what she was doing, risking herself to remove a monster. That's what I saw.
Yes, that is completely accurate.
Very nice. Well, do you have any questions for me? And you guys are starting to, walk back towards them now. Do you have any other questions? Anything about our clan or about your own abilities? Anything that you've been struggling with learning?
I mean, I don't think so at this point. I think my only struggle is that I do not like to drink from just a person, like an everyday average person. Even though I know it doesn't hurt them and I know that, they enjoy it and all of that, but I prefer to connect. How do I kind of word it? Like the first time I fed from an actual human, I slit his throat and drank from it. Like, for me, that's more comfortable.
You've already been continuing your assassinations without me. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
I had an agreement with Prince James that I would research and bring him somebody, and if he approved it, then he would allow it, and he would kind of give me advice on how to do it, correctly. But, everything happened, so the person I was going to present him with, I just went ahead and kind of did it myself.
Okay. So you weren't able to make this same arrangement with Prince Goldman?
Oh, no. We are avoiding him at this point in time.
Okay. So what's the details about that? Why don't you tell me that story?
About Goldman?
About Goldman and why he's after you.
What's the details? Because I don't remember. Is he after us who killed them?
What? Is what?
I guess, yeah, are we closer to them where I can be like, hey, y'all, tell her about Goldman?
Why, you don't think Mila even remembers?
No, I'm sure Mila does.
Yeah, then ask them. Ask them out of character so that you can get Mila's answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the situation with Goldman was obviously what she already knows about us killing some members in self-defense.
Right.
And wanted to put us up for a quote-unquote trial.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but then we all agreed that it wasn't going to be a real trial, and we offered up to the Sabbat unjustly.
Okay.
We were about to go with them, and then Enriquez came in and fought the Rat King for us.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the one who sort of gave us the info of like, yeah, this is like a bad idea.
Right. Okay. I tell her that.
You don't want to tell it in character? In Mila's own words?
The same thing.
Yeah,
that,
do it. Tell her in Mila's own words.
After the Sabbat?
Yep.
Is that why we're going to trial? Okay, so after the Sabbat situation and taking out that clan, in self-defense, mind
Okay.
you, that Goldman wanted to take us to trial, and we kind of knew that it wasn't going to actually be like a legit, I guess, I don't know, trial.
Okay.
And we kind of felt that it would be tweaked to go against us. And then we were thinking of going, or we were kind of on the fence of what to do. And then Enriquez, which is that Hector's sire?
Yes.
Hector's sire came and kind of advised us not to go and fought the sheriff.
Yep. The
Sheriff?
Rat
Okay.
King is the sheriff.
and fought the Rat King, the sheriff, for us so that we could get away. And we did. And we ran.
Okay, and that's how you ended up here with the Anarchs.
Yeah. Mhm.
With Baroness Valentina. Okay.
Yeah.
And she brings you back over to where Jack, Jessica, and Hector are. So none of your sires have been taking care of you. She says to the whole group.
No.
Not really.
Mine
That's
is
because Sire's a piece of work. I know she's not here to say anything, but...
Okay, yeah, Jessica's sire. Okay.
Well, I mean, Enriquez hasn't been holding our hands or anything, holding my hand or anything, but he did show up when we needed him.
Well,
recently.
Miguel? No, is Miguel? No. Yes?
Miguel's my sire.
That's what I thought. He went with us to, Virginia, right?
My sire Miguel has been the most hands-on,
Yeah.
and he's had his issues.
Oh, I didn't mention. So Valentina, as Lynn walked away, or as Mila walked away and had her conversation with Mahira, Valentina walked up to Miguel, met him at the car, and then he left. He's not actually welcome here.
Right. I can't remember that, but she allowed him to go.
Yeah.
Or they came up with an agreement or whatever, I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit missing.
Yeah, I'd say I suppose it was a good thing that there were several other newly embraced kindred whose sire had abandoned is a strong word, but abandoned. You guys were able to learn together. That's good. Thank you all for that. I owe a debt to the three of you as well as to Miguel. So why don't you... And who?
I was saying Emily and Valentina, of course.
Yes, of
Poor
course.
Emily
Valentina. I'm not familiar with Emily.
Emily has probably taught me the most of everybody. I mean, Valentina quite a bit too, but Emily was my point of contact for a while because Valentina is higher up in the Anarchs.
Okay.
And so Emily was kind of the one that she actually helped me through my first speed and explained to me what would happen because he'd be drunk.
Okay.
Was my plan. And so she's helped me a lot. I think she really is the one that helped me the most.
I'll have to thank her as well. I haven't met her. I'm sure Valentina will relay my message. Baroness Valentina, strike that. She calls her Baroness Valentina.
Baroness Valentina. Okay.
Keep in mind, you've never heard anybody call her Baroness other than Emily and now Mahira. Everyone else has called her Baron. And several people call her Baron without her name, just using the title.
That's interesting. Okay. Okay.
So why don't the three of you tell me more about yourselves? I'd like to know who Mila is becoming a coterie with.
I guess I can go first. My name's Jack. I'm Ventru.
Okay.
Recently, because of my occupation, detective.
Oh, you're a detective. That's very interesting.
Yes, I can
That's
see how
very,
you could imagine.
quite value. I can
Could be a
see
value.
where the Ventru found value in that.
Yes, unfortunate for me, but in the end, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, all three of them were not really happy about their embrace, as opposed to me that celebrated
Happy.
it.
Well, Jack,
Much rather know
if
that
you
this
were
never
here,
happened.
Jack, if you were here, and she waves her hand at, the Anarch territory that you're in, then, if you were here, then you should be outside the thumb of the Ventru now. There are not very many Ventru Anarchs, not in comparison as to the Camarilla.
That is true. I am
In many ways, the
more
Ventru
free.
are the Camarilla. At least in my experience. How about you? And she looks at Hector. What's your story?
He sleeps a lot.
I gotta. No,
Oh, there he
my
is.
I was on mute, and sometimes it's a little difficult the way the app is on the phone to unmute. So let me see. I guess I was an MMA fighter, and undocumented. Was in they were about to deport me, and the guards were pretty abusive, and I was about to get killed secretly, or and Enriquez saved me from death.
Oh. So he
So
chose
here I
you
am.
due to circumstance rather than plan. He didn't prep you at all.
No, the guards were doing like this fighting ring, and they found out that I was an MMA fighter, so they were forcing me to fight, and then at one point I refused, so they sicked some dogs on me, and then I show her my hand, and then
Oh.
and I ended up in the infirmary, but I fought, and he liked that, so he turned me, and then I made them pay.
Well, that's good. That's good. It sounds like they were horrible people that needed to be made to pay.
They were horrible people that needed to be made to pay.
I'm glad. We still don't have Janina. Okay, so then she asks Jessica, and Jessica tells her that I'll reveal Jessica's story just a little bit. Jessica was working with a patient named Jeremy, who believed he was being stalked by a vampire. Stalked and mentally tortured and frightened, horrified. And as she eventually broke him free of that fear, then the vampire actually revealed himself and embraced her right there in the alley, and then brought her to the prince an hour later. At which point she was removed from his care. So that's... Yeah, you guys have not had very much success with sires, have you?
Nope.
Valentina seems to have taken a shining to you. So that's good news. And I'm here now. Perhaps I can act as sire for all of you in a few respects. Nothing clan-wise. I don't have a lot of knowledge on the other clans. I've never been part of any of the sects. I did spend some time with the Sabbat when my sire was part of them. But it wasn't for me, and as soon as I was free, I was happy.
You just all had to be assassins.
I can, if that's what you want. Your disciplines won't shine in quite the right way, but maybe I can teach you I don't want to take responsibility for teaching you to face the infernals, but I can at least help make sure that you're going in the right direction and prepared for things that are going to come your way.
What was that? You said the Infernals?
Infernals. You haven't heard anything about the infernals?
Not
Okay,
that
so
I can remember.
since the beginning of time, some vampires. She is actually using that word, by the way. Some vampires have aligned themselves with Satan and gathered his energies in his power. Our clan.
And by the way, in this world, we do know what vampire means, right? It
Yes.
does exist.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Bram Stoker wrote his book and everything.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, and Dracula got in a lot of trouble.
You said Satan.
Yes, Satan.
Okay, so the Bible's right. It's just missing the part about vampire.
Well, I believe the Bible's right. Yes, or at least most parts of it. It's been manipulated. Your Holy Bible
see.
has been manipulated many, many times as it's been rewritten and written in a way to, work over the population. But
Wait,
yeah, for the most
Say
part,
the Bible's right.
Mostly.
Is she Muslim?
Yes.
She's wearing a hijab.
She's wearing a hijab.
So I say, wait. So the Bible's right? Or
Mostly the points that it gets across are correct. Yes.
There's a lot of overlap between the Bible and the Quran. There are definitely significant differences as well, but there's a lot of overlap.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking? We're still talking in character, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's up to you if you are or not.
That was out of character.
Yeah.
Oh no, because I know that. I'm just saying,
Okay.
but yeah, even my guy would still wonder, being a 18-year-old.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Probably never even met a Muslim there. I mean, we do have like 1,500 in this city, but I've only ever met one.
There's a lot. I mean, the MMA community is pretty diverse.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that my character's like familiar.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know the religion probably inside out, right?
Yeah, but you met a few. Yeah.
But it would still strike. It would still strike him. Even me, it would strike me as funny that like an ancient being who follows Islam would put it in terms of the Bible is right.
Yeah. She's not that ancient, and she's also American, so she's familiar with the fact that all you guys like the Bible. Yeah.
That's it. But I would ask her about that anyway.
Yeah.
So wait, so the Bible is right or the Quran is right?
Oh, the Quran is right.
What's right?
But yeah. Oh, the Quran is right. Or at least that's it. You'll find many religions worshipped by the kindred, not just these primary Judaic. You'll find. Have you guys heard of the Canaanite religion yet? And she looks at all of you.
In passing.
No.
Okay, so
No.
the Canaanite religion, which most of the Sabbat believe.
It's like Cain and Abel, right?
Yes. Cain killed Abel, and he was cursed and made into the first vampire. In fact, the Sabbat don't even like to use the word kindred. They use the word Canaanite. So, Cain was your first generation. Are you guys familiar with the generation term yet?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
Cain was first generation. He sired... Oh, I don't know. I don't follow that much. I think six. Most of them he killed or got killed for one reason or another. And then the third generation, which was created by the second generation, were the founders of each of the 13 clans.
So we know this for sure. This is...
No, we do not.
Like-
In fact, the Camarilla does not believe in this.
Oh, okay.
My point is that
Got it.
there are a lot of religions, and you'll find a lot of kindred religions that have nothing to do with the mortals around. So there are a
So
lot
there's
of
still
religions.
nobody. There's nobody alive from this third generation during this time to tell us that was there. That could tell us for sure.
The antediluvians, the third generation, there's no real evidence of them right now. They've been asleep for a long time. Some of the Methuselahs, the fourth and fifth generation, a couple of them are awake now. In fact, one of the eldest kindred that we are aware of is from our clan, from the Banu Hakim, and he just woke up a few years ago after an 1800-year sleep. He's been asleep
What does
for
he say about it?
1800
Who's there
years.
to-
When he woke up, he was not very happy with the way our clan has been going, and he has decimated us. Punishment. He doesn't like that most of us are Muslim, when we should be worshipping Hakim. At least that's what I hear. I haven't met him. If I
Who's
met him, I
Hakim?
think I'd be dead. He's the founder of our clan.
Wait, so this guy that just woke up, right? The guy that just woke up, like witnessed, like knew Hakim, or I mean, if he's fifth
Hakim
generation-
created him. He is fourth generation. Hakim created him.
Well, so then wouldn't that settle all this, like?
If he wanted to tell us, yes. Yes, it probably would. If the Camarilla were to listen to him. People lie.
And he's
Kindred
the only
lie
one?
even more than people. He's the only Methuselah that's awake? I seriously doubt it.
Well, it seems to me that unlike humans who only live for, like 100 years max, if you guys live forever, or we now live forever, then there shouldn't be a mystery about like theories or whatever. It should be some, they should be able to tell us what actually happened.
I believe
Why
the
are
thing
we-
that
why are we-
has caused this confusion is that the antediluvians are gone. The 13 antediluvians. Or was it 14? I don't know. She says the right number.
I think I read that character. I think 13 somewhere.
Yeah.
They're
They're gone. No one
but-
has seen or heard from them in millennia. Since the second city.
but their kids are still
Yeah.
running around, right? At least awake. So
A handful of them,
should-
yes.
they should be able to.
That's a good question. All I can tell you is that I've been told Urshulgi is awake. I've been told that he broke the Tremere curse upon our clan, and that the curse upon our clan is broken. We can, once again, feed from kindred.
Exciting.
So Valentine
why don't
has
you tell
been
us
taking...
about you,
Oh, about
if
me.
you don't mind.
Let my storyteller pull up my page, because I don't remember everything. Oh, I gotta pull it
Yeah,
up. on the other
and just
page.
like kind of out of character, like Hector's thing is, he's kind of not trusting people out of the gate. So when she asks, she's just asked the group for a bunch of information on them and hasn't told the group anything about herself. So he's gonna try to.
She's gonna be a little bit less than forthcoming, but truthful. As soon as I get this fucking page open. That one you edited
Yeah, that's
today.
kinda
I only
Hector's-
worked on one.
It's kind of Hector's usual disposition is going to be that way as well, unless he trusts the person.
Okay, so... Alright, I can tell you that. I think I wrote down her date. Not her date, but her year. I haven't written down anybody's actual birth date. I've just been writing years. Okay. My computer is running slow today. Okay. I was born in 1930 and embraced in 1952. My sire found me in a dungeon where an infernal vampire had kept me for 4 days, slowly bleeding me, torturing me, and using my blood for his own foul rituals.
Where were you?
Oh, I don't know.
I just meant like what region? Like
Baltimore.
Okay. Baltimore in the 30s.
50s. I was born in 1930.
Oh, right, 30. Okay, gotcha. The 50s.
So that's... My sire saved me, embraced me, taught me how to hunt those who were like the one that had taken me. Simple story. Well, do any of you have any questions for me? I'll release you back into the care of Speedy. I believe his name was Speedy. How did I end up?
Yeah, how'd you end up in the basement? Like, how did you come into contact with that? Why did that vampire hunt you? What was it about you that they made?
You know, I never found out what made me a target, but he took me from my bedroom. I never did find out for what reason I was his target.
And how did you get, like, here to Prince James?
Oh, I traveled with my sire for a few decades, and then I made a name for myself as an assassin in the southwest here. When the Sabbat or the Camarilla come upon someone that they believe has infernal ties, they call me to investigate and remove.
So when you the people that you kill, I mean, you're not like a assassin for hire, just to, like they have to be bad people, right? Is that what I'm
don't
getting?
usually even take contracts for people. But yes, they have to be bad. And usually not just bad, but satanic.
What is it? So Satan really exists?
Well, his power certainly exists. Even if they're not getting it from Satan, and she holds up her hands and makes air quotes, they're getting it from somewhere. They have access to a discipline of magic and blood sorcery that we don't. They're getting it from somewhere. It is full of fear, mind manipulation, and hellfire.
So, and I asked this, I dated this girl that was, she says she was like, it's satanic. This is Hector, by the way, not me.
Yeah,
Right? I used to mess with this girl that was, that says she was into Satanism or whatever, but for her, it wasn't like evil. It was like the ability to do whatever you wanted to and satisfy your passionate desires. This sounds like something else. Like they're going.
That's how it starts.
Like they actually want to.
That's how it starts. They bring all of that information out there to form their cults. They tend to develop cults of mortals, of ghouls, especially now.
But you're saying
when the infernal vampires are more separate. I'm sorry. Continue.
So you're saying that even though like that's just a front, where they sucker you in with the like, hey, follow your do whatever you want, but they ultimately want to do something like truly evil. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's how they get you started. It's about freedom, and once they get you hungry for power, then they will introduce you to how to achieve that power.
You fight these vampires regularly?
Yes. And hunt them.
Well, I'm not one of your clan or anything, but I believe in fighting against those that prey on other people, innocent people. So, hey, count me in if she's in with you, and you could teach us stuff on how to hunt. Because that's what I'm kind of doing on my own right now. I'd like to feed on people that deserve it. So
that's good.
If I can fight
I
and
like
learn how to
seeing
fight, become a better fighter, and
I like seeing that all of you have your own moral compass, your own code that you live by. And yes, it's should the situation come, and where we need a little extra muscle and less sneak, then we'll make sure to include you in our hunt.
well, I could sneak too, though, and I wink at her.
She smiles. She's got a really pretty smile. She has points in attractiveness. Beauty. I think the first one is beauty. She's actually quite a looker.
See, that would in his mortal life that might for
but you still recognize beauty. You just don't feel the physical swelling of your loins. Yeah.
So he can still be kind of sweet on her brain-wise, but he's not trying.
Right.
He's not trying to
still,
smash.
It's brain-wise, and they're especially in the Toreador clan. They still have a lot of relations, but in their case, it's more trying to feel human again, or trying to, to capture feelings that were lost. That's more what they're into. But yeah, it's not. Sex still happens outside of the Toreador clan. It's just
okay. I wanted to say that,
it's not as necessary. It's not the living need to the instinctual need to pass on your seed. That's not
gotcha.
there. Yeah, it is now just trying to be close to somebody, or trying to feel human again, or in a lot of cases, it's seduction so you could feed during sex.
Well, whatever just happened between them, it just clicked for Hector. So it's pretty,
Okay.
And plus she's ethnic as well, right? Like,
yep.
Based on the picture that you
yep.
that you what is she like Middle Eastern or?
Yeah, she looks like she's Middle Eastern.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
her English is perfect though. Perfect American English. I should point that
right.
out. Not English. No. Like she sounds like she grew up in Baltimore.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so for Hector, he's gonna find some kind of like some kind of a connection there, or the spark of a connection.
How sneaky are you? And she points, like just to the side, and when your eyes go where she points, she disappears. And you look back, and she's gone.
It's not that sneaky.
Hey, that's her being sneaky. There's different kinds of sneaky. Can I try to perceive where she is?
You can, but you can't. You can make a roll if you want, but getting 8 successes isn't going to give it to you. She is magically invisible.
Okay. And is there anything I can notice about the environment?
You can attempt to
changed
smell her. You can't use vision, and she's not making any sound. So you can use something else.
I would imagine she's not wearing perfume or anything. But I was gonna say, that wouldn't make sense for an assassin to do that. But can I scan the environment to see if something is disrupted that would give me
you do, but you don't see anything.
I mean, sure, I'll try to smell her.
Nope, and you reach out. Nope, you don't fight. You don't touch her either.
Nothing. Huh. Is there Like, I guess my thinking would be if there was somewhere that somewhat, like, if it was me that was invisible, where would I stand?
Okay.
And did I try to, like, touch the spot where she was standing when she disappeared?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, that's what I kind of assumed you did, but yeah. When I said that
Okay.
you need to use a different sense than sight, yeah. But no, do what you want.
All right. So I stepped through the space where she was standing, like kind of smelling the air, and then scanning the environment to see like where I might have moved. So on the ground, what kind of ground are we standing on?
It's like a dirt road that was a parking lot, or not a parking lot.
So
where the trailer was. It's just
none of the dirt is disturbed. Like I can't see a footprint in the ground or anything like
there
that.
are footprints all over. People have been walking all over this place all night.
No, but I mean like fresh. Like so the dust is disturbed or it's depressed right now. Like
No.
the ground.
I mean,
Nothing.
well, sure, go for it. Make an intelligence and fuck, man, I don't know. Survival? Yeah. Make an intelligence and survival roll.
Did she disappear faster than I can? Like more?
No,
You know.
and yours is also instant.
Yeah.
It
so
took
was
you.
the exact
I mean, when
same
you were
that-
first learning it, it took you like a second or two, but now it's
Okay.
instant.
Okay, cool.
Wouldn't like a awareness or shoot even? I mean, I don't know if Streetwise covers that.
It's not streetwise at all. No,
No insight or awareness.
it's not insight either. It could be awareness.
Okay. Can I try that? With
Sure.
Intelligence.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And it's any modifier?
No.
I could be very smart.
Messy critical.
Uh-oh.
A lot of successes.
That is a lot of successes. You got a critical. You got a messy critical though.
Oh, maybe I bump.
So
Maybe I like bump into her. I reach out to jump out, like to try to like catch her, like like, but I actually like knock my like headbutt her by accident or something.
yep. Yeah. So
Piss her off.
yeah, you're having
This is
trouble
not the
finding
meet cute
her.
I thought.
You are having trouble finding her, glancing around, looking around, and your beast is rising, growling inside your head. Where did she go? She's humiliating me. And then you spot the little the spot where you think her foot is, and you shove. And you catch her, and you shove her back, and she comes into visibility, and falls back onto her butt. And you're
Can I show like immediate like oops I didn't mean to do that like in my face and
make a willpower roll to actively calm down the beast inside.
oh mine okay hey by the way I'm looking at from the prior ones I've still got an X through one of my willpowers and like a half a slash through another. Did that ever
You heal
does that-
your okay, so you have your willpower is normal now. Whatever.
Okay, so I'm back to 6. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. So make a willpower
I believe you heal
roll.
one aggravated willpower every day, and then every session, and your superficial willpower you heal the greater between your composure or resolve every session when the session starts.
Okay. Well, that would have put me back to 6 already. So I hit the willpower. Oh, it's a willpower reroll. My bad. Willpower roll. Okay. No modifier, right?
No modifier. You're having trouble wrestling it down, but you don't. You're fighting it, but you got control.
Okay, so I got control. All right.
Yeah.
So at first I may give her like the So when I like knock her to the ground, I'm like in full competitive mode. I've got that fire in my eyes.
Yes.
But then like I guess you can see me visibly like fight it back, and then I flash her like a smile, like a flirty smile, and I hand her my I reach out my hand to like help her up.
Yeah, she grabs your hand
sorry
and
about
lifts
that.
herself up.
I go, sorry about that. I told you I was sneaky, and then I wink again.
Your beast rose to
And I
the
do that
surface.
flirtatious.
You don't have
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
having a little
control
trouble
over your
controlling
beast
that.
yet, do you?
Nah, I mean, truth be honest, I'm kind of a hothead, but I'm getting it under
It's
control.
part of your clan as well.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I
it's-
didn't mean to push you.
I'm actually quite impressed that you were able to see me. Or notice. You didn't see me, but you noticed the spot. Quite impressed, quite impressed.
Hey, I get what I want, baby.
Okay, so Jessica's here and paying attention now. Right? Be stunt be but stunt be to speak. But stunt be able to speak until we have Nadia dropped off. Okay, so at least you're listening now. So basically, you guys got here, and then Milo went off and talked to Mahira, and then Mila and Mahira came and started talking to you guys. And Jessica gave everybody gave a little bit of the background on their embrace, and I had Jessica tell them about Jeremy and how Jeremy's imagined horror turned out to be real, and embraced Jessica, and then an hour later took her to see the prince. Okay. Well, I think you guys are all set to stay with Mr. Speedy today.
Okay.
Valentina's gone. Speedy
Oh,
and
I
his
know.
coterie are just sitting over to the side waiting for you guys. What?
I had one question for her.
Okay.
As far as like everything that happened with Prince James, have you been investigating anything or?
No, I just got here.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, do you have any other things that we could check into, or?
Not really. I had a working relationship with Prince James, not a personal one.
Mhm. Okay. Alright, just asking. Okay, that's all I want to know.
I did hear you guys found a picture.
Yes. But, Valentina has it right now.
But hopefully that picture will lead you to your prince.
Yeah.
Like a fountain beverage or?
Well, I will see you tomorrow night, or perhaps I won't. Well, depends on the situation. I also need to find a place for myself, since I'll be here for a few months at least, I imagine.
Okay.
And I don't need to position myself in Anarch territory, as I am still quite welcome in Prince Goldman City. Perhaps I can smooth over the edges and get you welcome as well. Possibly.
So you know you're in town?
Yes. As soon as I arrived, I
So-
presented myself to the prince.
Aren't you worried that maybe if he knows about your connections to us, that he could be keeping tabs on you? Or you're this.
He's welcome to
super
try.
agent. So he
Like
just stops
that
talking.
confidence, and
Yeah.
it makes me want that confidence one day, so that kind of, I guess, helped my interest in letting her help me.
Well, it seems your friend Speedy is waiting for you. And as she makes a motion and you all follow her sight, she's gone. When you look back.
Okay.
Batman, I'm over here now.
I guess we go to Speedy.
Okay, so yeah, Speedy and Chaz and little Lucy are waiting for you guys. You guys
Okay.
remember them? Chaz is wearing a different suit that has way too much color on it, and he's wearing a jacket that is inside out.
No, okay.
And Lucy is dressed the same as she was before. She's the 13-year-old appearance kindred.
He's wearing his jacket inside out, like as like a stylish thing, or does it look intentional, or?
No, yeah, it looks like an intentional, stylish decision. Yes.
No,
Okay.
zipper.
Do remember something like that, a thing at a time.
Okay. So then Speedy leads his guys over to you. So you guys are going to be staying with me, at least through the day, maybe more than one day. Valentina's going to look into a place to hold you up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come along. Let me show you around. And he only takes you like 3 mobile homes down to it's an actual house. There's a mobile home on each side, but there's a house. And the house looks rather kept, actually. It's got a nice lawn. Well, it doesn't because it's winter. But it looks like it has a nice lawn. There's thick dead grass. And, you know, the house is recently painted. Everything seems pretty nice.
My man, MTV Cribs, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Never
But,
mind.
yeah. Chaz is like, Cribs, man! Yeah!
Oh,
Let me show you around our crib. Okay, so they...
I say, yeah, your boy Speedy here is kind of a square, bro.
He is kind of... I mean, he's a soldier, man. But,
Gotcha.
yeah, he's a good dude. He takes care of everybody. He's kind of a number 2 dog around here.
Oh, I appreciate the hospitality.
Yeah. So, we thought that we would let you guys stay in this room. And, like, you know, all 4 of you. So, sorry about that. And then I'm gonna go and stay with Lucy. I mean, it's not like we're, like, gonna wake up and shit. So, just, you know, lay your ass down somewhere. And, we'll be safe. Don't worry about it.
Out of character, is it like when vampires sleep? Like, is it like us? Like, do they get comfortable? Like, does that matter?
That's
Is
up
it-
to
or is
you.
it just like,
That is up to you. Probably all of you still do right now because you're young. You know, unless you wait 30 seconds to go lay down before the sun comes out. Because as soon as the sun comes out, you just pass out. But yeah, you probably are.
but like, does it matter? Like, you know, like if
It
if
does not
humans,
matter.
you know,
No,
are
you're not
sleep
gonna.
conditioned
You're
or
not
anything?
gonna wake up with a crinked neck because you had the wrong size pillow.
Okay, cool.
So it's just habit right now. You guys are probably finding comfortable positions, but you also don't. You don't feel uncomfortable in the same way that humans do because you don't have that pain.
Gotcha.
The muscle strains from being twisted wrong or what. You don't have any of that. Okay. Then you guys wake up the next day. The next night. Everybody make a rouse check.
Rouse check.
Success.
Damn it, Hunger Games.
Oh, I accidentally did a second one.
Just use the first one. They're both
Oh, they're
good
both
anyway.
good, so.
Whoops. I fucked up my... Okay, we're back.
All right, so I pick up Hunger.
Yeah.
Wait, am I still at 3? I'm at 3 now. Uh-oh.
Yep, you're at 3 now, I guess.
How did I?
Well, okay. If I wake up that hungry, can I go see somebody like and ask?
Yeah, they're
them,
gonna
I need to feed.
take you guys. they're gonna take you guys out for like an hour into the city, into the outskirts of the city, where you do find somebody that you can feed on. So yeah, you find somebody that like he's a drug dealer.
All right.
He's a Mexican guy, but he's a drug dealer, and you know these
what
guys
kinda-
are. Yeah, let's see. You're not looking for a Mexican guy because you can't feed on that. So
Right.
let's see. That's the first guy.
I mean,
that you
unless
find.
they're people that they're people that are like I think right. This is in conformity. I think with what we agreed. Like if it's a Mexican guy that's preying on other Mexicans. then
Well, yeah.
don't-
I mean, he's as long as you think him handing out crack to other Mexicans is preying on them.
Yeah. If it's crack, yeah. Like if it's just weed or something like that, I'm not
No,
gonna
it's not
view
weed.
that. You know what I mean? We're talking about hard, like a
Yeah.
hardcore, like dude.
Yeah, I mean, you probably found some weed guys too in your search for finding somebody who's a real piece of shit. But yeah, eventually you
Yeah.
find this guy that's a real piece of shit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How much do you feed?
Let's take 2 off his ass.
Okay.
And say, let this be. Next time, I don't stop.
Yeah.
But he's not. I mean, I'm not gonna masquerade wise. He's gonna have that wiped anyway. So.
Mhm.
But still, I want him to feel like when he comes out of it, like I want him to feel like he got violated in some way.
Okay.
Just not know exactly how.
You want to take his pants off and throw him in a dumpster?
No, I don't mean like that. But like I don't know if it's possible for us like when we like we don't want them to know exactly what happened to them, but like
Right.
in my if I'm gonna be feeding on people and trying to like instill some kind of terror in them or something
Have you
like
go
that.
grab the food cart?
Yeah,
I
you-
don't want to give them information, but I want to leave them feeling like the next day like something ain't
So
right. Like
basically-
I don't, like
Yeah,
The
the
food cart.
way that you're doing
Yeah,
it
let me go
is
grab the food
you're
cart.
probably gonna beat him up a little
I'll be right
bit.
back and go grab the food cart.
there we go. Yeah.
You beat him up a little bit, and then you feed from him, and you're gonna leave him there feeling like he got, he really got.
Like I gotta
beat
kill
up.
you. Next time I'll kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
No, you keep selling crack on these streets. You keep taking advantage of our people and being a fucking parasite. Next time I come back, you're dead. You understand me? Dead. And I I have his like face covered or something.
And
Or
he's
sack.
kind of passing out
Over
as
his
you
face.
say that, but yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 2. You're good.
Nice.
Okay. So Emily calls Mila. Who'd we lose?
Not me.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Emily calls Mila.
I don't know. Where's this? Oh, hello.
Is Valentina told me to tell you that she knows where Mr. Perry lives.
Oh, okay.
And that
Yeah.
since it was you guys' lead, she would
Mhm.
like for you guys and Speedy to act as your babysitter to go in
Mhm.
and investigate.
Okay.
And she gives you the address. We don't know exactly what we're dealing with here, so you guys need to make sure you're careful, but, Speedy's not going to let you do anything stupid.
Right. Okay.
Hey, I hear that you met with your sire last night. How'd that go?
It went well. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking, I guess, but it went well from what I could tell.
When she asked him that, I kind of blurred out, "It went well." At the same time.
Yeah.
And then I catch myself and I just shut up.
Oh, glad to hear it. If you guys get stuck on anything, you need me to do a little research, just give me a call. And she hangs up.
Oh, that was on the phone. Then
Yeah, it was on the
make
phone.
any sense. Sorry.
She doesn't
All right.
really leave her house.
Gotcha. All right, never mind on that then.
Okay, so you guys got an address.
I have the address to, what was his name again?
Perry.
Harry.
That's all she said, was, this looks like Perry. His
Yes.
name was actually written on the inside of the photo, but nobody ever took it out. So
Oh. Huh?
Wow. It worked out.
We're so smart. Okay, well, I have Harry's address if y'all would like to go investigate. She said say that
Yeah,
they don't
she
know
texted you the
anything.
address, and it says Perry August Rosenworth in his address.
Oh, that sounds like a very old-fashioned name. She did say they know nothing about him, though, so she has no idea what we're going into, so just keep that in mind. And speak
Vampire
that face.
Diaries.
Okay. Who's driving? I guess Speedy
I'll drive.
drives. I mean, Speedy's here too. He's with you guys. He's here to make sure you don't do anything stupid like feed off a guy in front of some scientist.
We would never do such a thing.
What makes you think you do that?
I mean, in our defense.
Yeah, in your
that
defense, you
scientist
were
wasn't-
going to kill him.
He
Yeah.
was very hungry.
Exactly.
In his
Yeah.
defense, he was very hungry.
And we were going to not let that dude leave. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't supposed to get out of there. So
Mm.
Why is it that every time something happens, we have to say, in our defense?
next we keep fucking up.
That's funny.
Okay,
Our
so
sire's
he's got a
fault.
house. He's got a house on the west side, which is the side of the city that is on the Anthony side. So it's not actually very far for you guys to go. And he's actually got. It's a pretty nice house. It's like a $200,000 house. It's got probably 3 or 4 bedrooms. Everything is well taken care of. It kind of reminds you of Speedy's house, which is right in between those trailers, except that this is actually in a nice neighborhood where all the other houses look identical.
So Hector repeats, bro, MTV Cribs.
That guy's not here.
No, I know. I just say that because everybody else heard it. So now this is going to be the running joke.
Yeah, okay.
He thinks he's hilarious.
Yeah. He's just young. It's a basic pop
Yeah.
culture reference
Uh-huh.
at that time. That
Yep. Keep that in mind because, 20 years later, 100 years later, you may still be making the same
Right.
comments.
Bro, MTV Cribs, everybody's like, what the hell is that?
That's funny.
Okay, yep, you guys
You
pull
mean
up.
YouTube?
Okay. And, what the fuck's that guy's name? I forgot. The guy that went with you.
Harry Rosenworth?
Harry.
No, the guy that went with you. What's his name?
Speedy?
Speedy. Yeah.
You
So-
forgot Speedy's name?
Yeah, I forgot Speedy's name. So yeah, Speedy says, "I'm here with you guys, but this is your show." And he says that to Jack because like this is an investigation and Jack is a cop.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so
Hold on. I should have been looking to see how hungry I am to see if this needs to be fixed.
By the way, when Speedy's saying that to Jack, of course Hector's behind him mocking him. Like acting all like like stiff shoulders and like acting like
Yeah.
it's your shoulder.
Okay. He didn't even notice, or if he noticed, he didn't bring it up.
Mm.
no, I did not notice.
No, I mean Speedy. You probably noticed because he
Oh.
was.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it for the group's benefit, but when
Yeah.
he says stuff, I'm just behind him like.
Okay.
Can we go back and say I fed off of someone too?
You're a lot harder to feed if you.
No, I'll just deal with it like last time.
You sure you don't want some of my crack dealer? Oh wait, I kind of went deep on
I
it.
would have taken.
He's probably got friends.
Okay, well, you went with them. You found some other dealers.
Okay. Alright, that'll work.
You found some other pieces of shit that really weren't shitty enough for Hector.
How do we? I messed
Was
this-
crack a big thing in El Paso, or was it more meth?
I think
Back
it was
then.
more meth, actually.
In 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Crack was bigger in, like, the early 90s. Yeah, later 90s and 2000 it was meth. So it should have been meth, actually. He was a meth dealer.
They're a little easier to find because of the lack of teeth.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. Yep, so you guys are here. What are you going to do? It is like
Okay, so was it
8 at night.
is it an apartment or a home?
It's a home. It's a nice house. It's not like a super nice mansion, but it's a pretty nice middle-class house.
Huh. Okay. Is there a car in the parking lot? Or parking lot, jeez. Driveway?
Okay.
Is there a garage?
There is a garage.
Okay. What do you guys think? Start with maybe knocking on the front door? If someone is in here?
Um,
Let
We would like we did the last time and hit the roof and scan from there.
I'm just thinking if this is if Perry's here, obviously maybe James isn't there, but maybe he knows. We don't want to immediately make him think that we're Sabat or something. Then he ends up attacking
Play it
us.
straight. Just play it straight, ring the doorbell type of thing.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean,
just tell them what. Have you seen?
yeah, do a proper interview with him.
Okay.
And if he's not here, then of course, if no one comes to the door, then we could potentially break in. But
Okay.
Is it yeah? I mean, it's a Milo that goes invisible.
Yes.
I mean, you want to let like me and Jack hit the do the meet and greet, and you two ladies kind of hang back and get ready to assist with stealth, or maybe scope out what else is going on while we're doing that.
Yeah, I could do that.
okay.
Sorry, what's Jessica's like powers again?
She has... Go ahead. I didn't know you were here. Go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, sorry, I've been kind of, I had to drop my daughter off. But yeah, no, she can see the unseen. She has lesser powers, like, she can, mesmerize, and she can, get people to forget. And she can give...
And then the big one that we haven't been using too much yet, she can glance into the future.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, she can get premonitions. It's only that kind of made it to where we didn't. We
haven't really touched on that yet, except for me throwing things at her. She hasn't really done it on purpose yet.
So if the purpose is to like talk to this guy and try to figure out if he's telling the truth and get some kind of sense, it sounds like she'd be a better person to like talk with him. So maybe her and Jack can do the meet and greet, and then my guy's also a stealth guy, and like he's got like a couple of points in stealth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he can jump. Like I think one of his powers is to jump on the roof.
You got
like he can actually jump.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Keep in mind doing things like that where other people can see you.
But we're in the middle of nowhere right now, right?
No, you are in a fucking cul-de-sac with a bunch of other houses.
Oh. Shit. Alright, well, like, maybe we could, we know Milo can go invisible, and I guess the three of us could go talk, but that might be intimidating, too. So maybe I just hang back, like, and watch from afar?
Yeah.
Would I look weird standing out on the cul-de-sac?
You could stand over there with Speedy.
Okay,
Speedy's not invisible.
Okay.
I think me and Jessica going to the front door isn't a bad idea. I think we're probably the best two representatives to...
What? The two with some social points are gonna go do the talking? Okay. Okay, yep, you guys are at the door. He's got a pretty nice porch. There's a porch swing that faces towards the sunrise. Or the sunset, rather. And it's got, like, some rose bushes. They're all, it's winter. They're dead. They're asleep. They're in torpor. But
Haha.
hey,
yeah, bro, where you guys go, hit him with the Cribs joke. It's a killer. it kills
Uh-huh.
every time.
All right.
Well, we're not going to kill anybody
I'm
right now.
gonna give a solid 3 knocks on the door.
Okay. What's going on?
I'm gonna go invisible.
Okay.
So let me do my roll real quick and just kind of watch and if I need to like run inside or something.
What's going on? You hear, and then you hear like footsteps coming towards the door from the inside, and then the door opens.
This is
What do you want? And you see an
this is the,
old white guy.
oh, he opens the door. Okay, cool.
He opens the door. What do you
Um,
want?
Are you Mr. Perry?
Perry's my son.
Perry's your son.
Okay, both of you can make a wits and insight roll to see if he's lying.
Can
And
you
he's-
do the roll for me? I can
Yes,
roll right now.
and he's going to make, which I haven't made a character for him, he's going to make a wits and subterfuge roll, which is going to be wits
Two, since I'm
of 3
watching.
and subterfuge of 4. 3. So he's going to have 6 dice. It's 5 dice. And 1 more. Okay, so 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, and 6. He got 6 successes on his lie. Okay, so then we do for Janina. Character sheet. Core. Okay, and we are doing insight and wits. Okay. What'd you get? 3. And what'd Jack get? 4.
4.
Well, I'm there too, like listening. So
I'll do one. I'll spend a willpower to get a reroll.
Okay. And Mila can make the roll too if you're close enough to be paying attention.
yeah, I want to be pretty much like right there.
You're
But
invisible.
I can only reroll.
You can only
normal dice.
reroll the normal dice that have failed.
Oh man.
Okay, well then in that case, I can only get 1 additional success, and you said he had 6, so there's no point.
Okay. So since this was not an active roll, this was something I called for, I am not going to give Mila the bestial failure.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's my son. What do you do now?
Believe it, apparently. We suck.
Yeah. My name is Jack Levington. I'm a detective of the El Paso City Police Department. We are hoping to interview your son in connection with an investigation.
What's this investigation about?
I'm afraid I can't disclose that.
Okay. Well, give me your card or something, I guess, and I'll have that son of a bitch call you when he gets home.
Oh, okay. I'll show him my badge and I'll hand him a card because I do carry cards.
Yep.
All right. Just have him give us a call as soon as he can. Thank you for your time, sir.
Okay.
And as we're walking away, I'm gonna whisper to Jessica. Looks like we're doing this the hard way.
Okay.
Is there a way that I can sneak into the house without touching them?
You can attempt to, yes. Make a dexterity and athletics roll.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so Mila sneaks into the house, or attempts to sneak into the house. You guys turn away. You say that to Jessica. The moment you say that, Jessica sees a vision of the guy that was in the picture. And, like, over the next 3 seconds, you watch him age until he looks like the guy that was at the door.
Oh, wow.
So you said
Hey,
that to
guys.
her, and you glanced, and she stopped. She stopped mid-step, and her eyes kind of white over. And you're like, what the fuck? And a few seconds later, she comes back to her senses. Okay, and Mila tried to sneak inside. And yeah, that's reasonable. 2 successes is okay. And you snuck inside. It was really close. In fact, you kind of dusted across him, and he, almost swatted at you like you were a bug.
Okay.
Or he did swat at you, but he missed.
Okay.
Damn fucking cops are looking into this shit now.
What is it, Jessica?
So, Jack, did your sire ever mention that it's possible for us to look like we've aged?
I believe. No. Okay, then no. I'm pretty certain. I mean, take the 13-year-old. When you turn, you turn. So he should look like how he was in the picture, I would guess, if he was kindred of some sort.
But
Why
just
you asked?
a whole age progression from the picture to him, as if that's the same guy. I mean, the Nosferatu can change how they look. And there's people who change. There's shapeshifters.
Shipshafers.
Yeah, yeah, those are a thing.
They're another kind of vampire.
Yeah.
Shape into ships.
Those the nautical ones.
Pirates.
Pirates.
But yeah, no, I totally just saw in my mind the picture from the guy in the picture doing an age progression to the guy we just saw. I think
Remember, we've seen Perry before, though, right? He was a security guard, you said, right, Sestonn?
You may have seen him. It didn't. Only Milo was able to recall. And,
But when we
he
saw
looked
him
like
there,
the one in the
he
picture. He looked like the picture. The young guy at the
He would have looked younger, so if he has aged, it's been very recently. He's, I guess, disguised himself. I think maybe he's hiding from the Sabbat, trying to fake his death.
Do you blame him?
No. What I'm wondering is if we went back, if we went back to the door, knocked again, and just came at the situation just as vampires, how he'd react. Because obviously he knows about us.
When I first get in there and kind of just
Okay,
look
yeah,
around,
we'll cut to that scene. So,
Okay.
yeah, he goes mumbling. Now the cops are looking into this place. Ugh. Everything's going wrong. And he walks into the living room where there is an old 80s TV, like one of those big heavy box TVs that sits on the floor and is like got all this nice wood around it. And he sits down in a recliner chair. He just sits down in it, and he kind of creaks, his old body. And he does not kick up the stand. He's just sitting in his recliner chair. He just seems grumpy and bitchy about stuff. Okay, back to outside.
And what about looking around? I don't see anything that stands out.
No, it looks like a pretty nice house, but everything is kind of modeled 80s. But it looks unused.
Okay.
I mean, the things that are obviously used, they're well taken care of. And everything is nice and clean. But the TV looks like it may have never even been touched.
Okay. Oh. Alright. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, we're back outside.
Hmm. What do you think, Jessica? Do you think talking to him straight about who we really are, you think this will
Do we have the picture with
get a...
us?
No.
No.
Darn it.
Wait, we don't have the picture?
No, Valentina took it.
Ah, damn it, Valentina.
You know what? Yeah, Speedy has the picture. It was kind of... Yeah, it might be an important thing. Speedy gave him the picture. Speedy has the picture.
Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the picture and bring it back to him and just show it to him and see what his reaction is.
Okay, well, let's ask Speedy real quick if Speedy knows anything about aging.
Good point, yes.
So we'll ask Speedy that and get a picture.
The only thing I can think of for a kindred to age like that would be if he's Zemitzi clan.
If he's what?
That Uncle Fester looking motherfucker is the.
Yeah.
Is the
If he's Zemitzi
Barry?
clan, like
Okay.
what's that guy's fucking name? I'm forgetting all my guys' names. Rodrigo.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's
can-
right.
They can flesh change themselves, flesh shape themselves. Either that or he's a ghoul, and he hasn't had any blood.
Something that happens if they don't get blood, they start to very quickly age.
Yes.
My
And then
personal
when
theory
they get blood again, then they go back to being young. Is that how it works?
No.
Oh, okay.
My personal theory is that he's been Prince James's ghoul for centuries, and maybe he normally given blood from Prince James, but now that Prince James is separated, he hasn't had any access to it. That's why he's aging. But of course that means that Prince James isn't with him. But I think we should confront him with a photograph and lay it out clearly.
Wait, not to be boring, but just to get this straight. So if you're a ghoul and you take the blood, it slows down your aging, but not really.
It stops your aging.
Yeah, so that's weird. So if this guy, if Mila just saw this dude like weeks ago, right? I mean, it's not like he's gonna age because he doesn't get blood. He's gonna just jump to being an old man. He's just gonna start aging.
No,
But he's not gonna.
he'll start aging, but it'll be very quick.
But what? I mean, I thought if you stop aging as a ghoul, then why would you?
When the blood wears off. If you
Yeah, the
haven't
blood wears
gotten
off.
more.
But then why? If your body starts aging, then why you go into hyper
no, you're gonna
aging
catch.
mode?
Yeah, you're gonna catch back up. You're not gonna. You're gonna go through a process that catches you back up to the age you're supposed to be.
Oh shit! Out of character. That's gonna affect how I was thinking of doing, like ghouling the my gym owner. So there is no point in you can't microdose a ghoul basically.
No. And
That's
if he
a-
stops getting blood, then he's gonna age. He'll.
So from a shitty I'm just thinking perspective, right? Like let's say I take on a 20-year-old ghoul,
Okay.
right? We go, I feed him regularly until he's like 40, right?
Okay.
And then I disappear. Circumstances I can't help. I disappear for 6 months. I come back and he's gonna have aged from 20 to 40. And now if I
Yes.
ghoul him, he just stops aging at 40.
Yeah. It's like you're starting the process over again. Yeah.
Yeah, except that he everything I did to keep him there, like my 20 years of work, gets interrupted for 6 months, and this
Yes.
guy's now that just undid everything I
Yes.
fed him for the last 20 years.
Yes.
That sucks.
This is why I don't garden. Anyways,
Yeah, I thought it just stopped the aging process temporarily and then continued on, so you could keep a ghoul alive for several hundreds of years if you do it right.
You can if you feed him every month.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that
Mhm.
you'd have to keep him under your okay. Well, fuck it. How do you guys want to play this?
I think we should just confront him straight.
Yes.
Still just you two? We hang back, or how do you want?
I'm inside.
Okay, so
Yeah, by the
he
way, where the fuck is
reaches
my-
over and lights a candle with a cigarette lighter. He lights a candle, and then he kind of rolls his chair over so that the candle is shining light over his shoulder, and he pulls out a book from a pocket on the chair. He pulls out a book and he opens it up and he just starts reading.
I'm gonna walk over there and kind of like peek, see if I can tell what it is.
It's unimportant. It's a
Oh,
novel.
okay, it's a book.
It's
Okay.
just a book.
War and Peace.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
It's not just the novel.
Okay.
It by Stephen King.
Oh, sorry.
Well, let's go back to the door. And I'll give another knock. This time I'll change it up. Instead of 3 knocks, make him think it's a different person. Just twice. Slightly harder.
Ugh. Fucking kids. And he pushes his chair. He pivots his chair around, puts the book back in the pocket, slowly stands up. You can hear his knees crack. And he starts walking back down the hallway. And he's just halfway down the hallway. He yells out, "What do you want?" And then he gets to the door and he opens it. No fear. He didn't stop and look through the peek hole or anything.
Right. Okay.
When he opens the door, I'm gonna say, "Look, I'm gonna cut the bullshit." And then I hold up the photo. We know this is you. We're here to talk about James.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I think you do. And I think it's connected to why you're old.
I didn't hear you. I think it's connected to why what?
Why I said why you're older than you should.
And he steps outside and looks around and doesn't see anybody. Just come on in. Come in.
Thank you.
Wipe your fucking feet.
Thank you.
We'll make sure specifically to wipe my feet well. And as I'm wiping that, we're both recently embraced, and we're trying to find Prince James. We know he's alive somewhere. I found his hometown in Hickory Grove. I went
Really?
there.
You went
Yes.
to Hickory Grove.
Yes.
Been doing anything I can to try to find him, to bring back some order to this city.
Come in. And he moves down the hallway, leaving the door open for you guys. Does Hector go in? Hector and Speedy, or do Hector and Speedy stay outside?
We stayed back because if we showed up with 5 of us at the door, that might
Okay.
Yeah. I will say.
Do you guys close the door behind you, Jessica?
I would say we have some. They can also come in. If not, though, that's also okay.
Yeah, I don't want no. There's enough that there's 2 of you fucking here.
Fair enough.
Close the door.
He goes into the kitchen. Turns on the electric stove and puts a teapot on it. I don't imagine you guys want any tea.
I'm not against it. Thank you.
Really? You can drink? That's interesting.
Vampires can drink, right?
I can.
That's what he asked you.
Yeah. I don't. I think
I
I can
guess
still
as
drink.
he asked you, it suddenly occurs to you that you haven't tried.
Oh. Well, let's give it a shot. Regardless, this photo, taken clearly before Prince James had become Prince James, and you had become, I'm assuming, remind me what the less offensive term for
Thrall.
ghoul
Thrall.
is. Thrall?
Yeah.
You were his constant companion, anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Looks like you guys found out my secret.
I'm sorry to hear this. This is, it's we really like James. And we want to do what we can to help.
Okay, he's
I'd
gonna
like
make
to-
an insight check. Jessica, I want you to make me an wits and subterfuge. Subterfuge and wits. That way's easier. Well, you want me to do it?
So where I can roll.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, he needs to roll 6. What am I doing? 2 more. Not those. Okay, 8, 6, that's 2. You only got 2 successes. Okay, and let's make the roll for... Oops. For... Jessica. Wits and subterfuge. You're not very good at subterfuge.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna tell it like it is, person.
Yeah. Well, subterfuge is not only lying, it's also trying to show someone that you're not lying.
Subtlety.
Okay, I messed up my page. Try to get that balance back so it stays somewhat pretty for the recording. Okay, so you got 2 successes, and so did he. So, okay, what was it you said exactly? That you liked Prince James and you're
Like
trying to
me.
find him.
And that we honestly want to help.
Do you want to help? How would you be able to help?
Well, we won't know until we find out, until we know what's going on first.
Our main way of helping is finding where he is. And
Well, what if
Or do we
I know
can't
where
help?
he is? And he's somewhere safe. What would you say?
Does he need blood? What does he need?
He needs blood.
Okay.
He needs more potent blood than his own.
would
So it's from somebody older than.
Ideally, yeah.
would it work to be from someone like Mother?
Or, well, Mother or Valentina. Or is she less potent than him?
I mean, I don't know. I would assume that Mother's blood would be able to wake him. Maybe Goldman's. Maybe Valentina's.
I wouldn't
The
trust
only
Goldman.
the
He's
only
trying to be-
the only kindred
Goldman.
that I'm aware of that for sure are older than James is Mother and Rodrigo.
I know we're not going to get any blood from Rodrigo.
Not to save James, no.
Are you the only one who knows this?
Yes?
So, if I may ask, I know it's traumatic, but you were there at the hotel when the Sabbat launched their assault.
I was.
Can you tell us about it? What you're comfortable with?
Well, it started with an explosion. And then Prince James and Miss Ava launched into action pretty quick. You know, and they poured in through the stairway. Took out my
Do
soldiers.
you have any idea?
Took out my security real quick. Prince James got to his gun. Was able to take out a few of them.
Do you have any idea how they may have infiltrated without knowing?
I have no idea. I have no idea, and trying to investigate would have brought attention to me.
See.
Do we need to give you some blood so you stop aging?
That would help, yes, but, you know, in all honesty, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm okay with letting this end. Especially if we could wake up James.
Well, we need to keep you going at least until we can wake up James.
Right. Yeah.
How about I feed you a little bit of my blood? It'd be a show of goodwill.
I don't know you, son. I don't know you.
I know. But it's okay if you
I think
don't want to.
right now where I have him hidden, he's safe. And I think it might be safest for him if I were to just wither away than for me to become bonded to someone else.
How about this? If we come back with blood of Mother or somehow someone else of more potent blood, life essence, would you then show us where he is?
No. No, it's too much of a risk. They're trying to kill him right now. Where he is safe.
It would be best if we can get him to recover so he can restore balance.
I suppose it would be, but who could I trust? You kids seem pretty good, but you don't even know the goings-on. You don't know who his enemies were. You have no idea how the Camarilla works. No, he's safe where he is.
How long will it take for him to recover naturally?
I have no idea. Anywhere from a few months to a few years, I imagine.
Think he really has that much time with how Rodrigo's hunting for him?
Only I know where he is. And at this rate, I should be dead in a week.
Are you so confident that there's no chance that those who do not have access to you could not ever find him?
I think he's safer if nobody knows where he is than he would be if I were become bonded to someone I don't trust. And I don't trust anybody.
When he wakes up, isn't he going to be weak and unable to defend himself?
Yes.
And so that's not going to be a good position for him now, is it?
He'll feed. He'll feed. He'll get his strength back. Big question is if he frenzies.
Frenzies.
That wouldn't be good.
The term.
I don't expect him to frenzy. He's got quite a bit of self-control. But it is possible. If you bring me Mother's blood, or Rodrigo's for that matter, and can get it to me within 20 minutes, then I can give it to him.
20 minutes of extracting the blood?
Within 20 minutes of extraction. I can give it to him and hopefully it'll wake him. That's all I have to offer.
That's more than what we were hoping for. So. I think we're
Okay.
going to try.
Okay.
I can't guarantee you, but if you don't mind, do you have a home phone number or something we could call in case we succeed so that you know we're on our way?
Yeah, I got one of those phone things. Where is it? He looks around. I think it's over here. And he walks into the living room, and there's one of these 80s style phones with the buttons to push. It's not the rotary phone. It's later than that. It's got the buttons to push, and it's like little square shaped, and it is on a platform that is built into the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is. I have no idea what my phone number is.
Oh.
Who do you call to find out who your phone number is?
Here, Jack, just call yourself from that phone. You should be able to see the number.
All right, and then I'll do that.
Okay. Yep, and you get the number.
Okay, and then I'll write it down for him. This is your phone number, in case in this week you find a need of sharing it.
All right.
And then give him our numbers too.
Okay.
Or in an emergency, or if, worst case scenario, you feel that all of a sudden he's in danger and he needs protection, you can call us.
Yeah, that in case that happens, that's good. I was gonna call Valentina in case that happened.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else to share.
No. No.
In that case,
I hope
we're going
you can actually convince Mother to help you. I don't know if her blood is potent enough to save him, but not save, to wake him. But that would be good. That'd be good. The absolute safest for him is to be awake.
Well, in that case, we will all be heading out.
Okay.
And with that, I'll stand up and I'll signal to Jessica, and hopefully Mila picks up on my "we will all."
Yeah.
Like I'll linger for a second to try
In
to
fact,
just give.
He seems to have caught on to that and is looking around like, you never know when the Nosferatu are here. And that's what he says. You never know if there's a Nos in the room, do you? Fucking sewer rats.
It's odd that he would say that about the Nosferatu, yet he's willing to get help from Mother.
Yep.
Oh shoot. All right. Well, actually, before I leave, if I may, try some of that tea that seems to be about done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he pours you a tea, puts a tea bag in there. These tea bags are a nifty little thing. Have you tried them? They come in boxes. They just sell boxes of different flavors of tea.
It is very impressive.
Yeah,
and
they're all pre-sorted for the perfect amount for a cup. It's really quite neat.
All right, I'm gonna try one of the
best invention they've had so far.
Is tea poisonous to me?
Alright, so yeah, you sip the tea. It's not poisonous. You don't die. It's in your stomach for about 3 seconds, and then you throw it up. Yep,
I'm
looks
sorry,
like you can't eat food.
I'll clean this up for you. I'm really embarrassed by that.
Don't worry about it.
It happens that quickly? I thought
Yep.
it was like there was a delay.
Well, yeah, you can learn. This was his first time.
Apparently for Jack at the 3-second delay.
Yeah, you can learn with the eat food merit. You don't have any problem. You still have to throw it up before you go to bed. Before you go to bed for the day. But without it, you can make a willpower check to hold it, and you can hold it for roughly like 20 minutes or so with success on that. But no, this was his first time, so yeah, he just spewed that shit back up. He thought it would be fine, and it wasn't fine.
In that case, we'll head out.
Jessica doesn't try the tea?
I can drink.
Yeah, but are you aware of that already?
Yes.
Okay. Doo. Yep, you do have
And
it.
Mila,
Yep.
you leave?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I really didn't want to ruin the trust relationship we had by,
Yeah, I
And
felt
catching
bad
it.
even when he said
Bye.
it. He's like, should I just come clean and let him know I'm there? But then I was like, no, I'll just be quiet.
Okay, you guys are back outside. You meet with Hector and Speedy. So how'd it go? What happened?
It's him.
Nice.
he,
Tell us where James is.
He won't tell us,
No.
but he's James is out for the count. He's not dead.
That's good.
In torpor, he needs an elder's a more potent blood than his in order to just revive him.
Wow.
So it's going to be up to Mother if she wants to share. But we have to be able to do that
Valentina's
quickly.
blood might heal him.
well, obviously we can trust her, so why don't we just start by taking this information to her?
Okay.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
where's
can we
James?
trust her though? I mean, she seems to be okay with us, but remember that they're not exactly aligned. They're saying James is like the least of all evils. So I mean, we gotta be careful how we pitch that, because we don't exactly.
We've already told Speedy, and Speedy knows, so...
Yeah. And I
Speedy's our
think,
Yeah,
second.
but Valentina's going to know now too. So we may as well go ahead and ask Valentina first.
yeah. And I think, she'd rather have him in charge than the other options at the moment. So.
Yeah, because Goldman trying to do this takeover is not working.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's what this comes down to, is it's either James or
Yeah.
somebody else. And I think everybody else likes James and knows that he's best for our
Right.
situation.
Yep.
What happened to did you guys find out what happened to James's girlfriend?
We forgot to ask her about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can ask him.
And what happened to him? Like, what? How did that whole thing go down with the hotel and everything?
All he said was that there was an explosion. They busted in, killed all of the guards quickly. James and his girlfriend tried to fight, but they were seriously hurt. Obviously, James was so
So
hurt.
how'd they get away?
He didn't explain.
What's that?
He didn't explain it to him.
But you guys didn't ask him like how James got away, and like if he's in torpor, how did he end up in torpor and not captured? Like,
He wasn't exactly forthcoming with information, and he's a
We'll
little.
look into the information that we got from him.
He's depressed. He says he's likely going to just let himself die in the next week.
what the hell?
He
man?
doesn't stop his aging. He wants to just die.
All right, let's hurry up and just get this information to Valentina, because this doesn't sound like we have much time.
No, we're on the clock.
We have less than a week.
Even if we tried to force the information out of him, which I'm not suggesting we do, I don't think he.
All right, well, fuck a week. Let's do this shit now.
All right, let's go. I guess I'll call Valentina and say that we need to
Valentina
meet her.
doesn't have a phone number.
Okay. Well, we'll go
You
to
call
the
Emily.
usual spot.
You can call Emily.
A far drive, right?
What?
It wasn't a far drive.
No, it wasn't. But you can call Emily. Emily
Hey,
seems to
Speedy,
be in contact with Valentina often.
Speedy, what do you think is the speediest way to get to Valentina and figure this out?
Oh, he tells you where to go. It's like 3 blocks away from where he lives.
Let's go. I mean, shit. Hector will just jump behind the. Well, let's do it.
All right. So where he sends you, where Speedy directs you, is a neighborhood park.
Huh.
It's a different neighborhood park than the one where you met Speedy. It's not on the side of the river. It's got a lot of trees, but the trees are bare right now. Looks like it's got a lot of grass, but the grass is bare right now.
Okay.
You guys sure do like your park, Speedy.
Yep. That's Gangrel for you, I suppose. It's also kind of Valentina. She doesn't do well around people. You know. Humans. Mortals. She's kind of a...
Makes sense.
She's kind of a wild child. Okay, well you get there. He gets out. You guys wait here for a minute. Let me go find her. And he goes jogging off into the park. And he goes to one area where there's a few trees, and he looks around. And he goes to another area where there's a few trees, and he looks around. And he goes to another area, and on his way to that other area, he sees her coming out of the first area with the cat, with the Puma Tinkerbell. And then he goes over and he talks to her, and then they start heading over towards the car. And Speedy motions for you guys to come.
So we're over there.
And Speedy looks at Jack. This is your story. This is your game. Go ahead and tell her about it. I didn't tell her.
Okay. I'll just give a quick little courtesy bow, almost more of just a nod towards Valentina first. We went to his residence. It was Perry's home.
Okay.
It's been aging quickly. He's the thrall of James.
Okay.
He was there on the night of the attack. James is alive. James is severely hurt in the attack. He's in torpor.
Okay. Where is he?
Only Perry knows the location, and he refused to share it with anybody. And
okay.
Likely going to die within the week. He's refusing anyone else's blood. Frankly, is ready to pass on.
Okay.
He is receptive, though. If we can obtain the blood of someone who has a higher potency than James, I don't know if that includes you,
I have no
and
idea.
get it to him quickly. What'd you say?
I have no idea how potent James' blood is. We can try.
Okay. Well,
What happens if your blood isn't potent enough? Like, is there any
It won't
negative
wake him.
effects to that?
No, it just won't
Okay.
wake him. I mean, there's a negative effect to me. It costs me some blood, but no, it just won't wake him. Nothing will happen.
if you come with us, then we can immediately try. He will likely not let us follow him to wherever he has kept James hidden. I think you would understand why. He doesn't trust anybody. But he does want to see James come back.
That makes sense.
So,
It makes sense that he's
we
being
could
so
try-
cautious.
if
present.
the only reason why he even said anything is because we presented him the indisputable proof, and then we gestured to the photo as I pull it out.
Okay. Well, let's go then.
But let's try you first, and if it does not succeed, then possibly.
How about we call him to make sure he's actually ready to receive us? Because the time window is very, very limited.
Yeah. Let's. If we bring Valentina, then the broad will be very. But let's call him.
Okay.
See if
so
he's
you call
already.
him.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, ring. 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 Ring, ring. What?
Hey, this is Jack. We've already got a person who may be able to get James back.
Who do you got?
Valentina. She's not sure if her blood's potent enough or not, but she's willing to try now.
Valentina nudges you with her elbow. Be careful using words that might draw attention.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're in the middle of a part on our own, aren't we? Just out of character for a second.
Yeah, but you're on the phone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, phones.
Over this way.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, while everybody's focused on this call, I want to see if I can pull Mila aside.
Okay.
And try to talk to her, whispers or whatever. I was gonna say, hey, Mila, listen, when that guy goes back, and when he goes back to try to feed James, what do you think about visible and following without telling the rest of the? I mean, our people sure, but I'm not sure I want Valentina to do that. Speaking.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're back over. So you're gonna bring her now then? You're bringing it now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be ready. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll be there shortly, within the next 15 minutes or so.
Okay. Alright, you guys all jump in the car. Valentina is very nervous in the car. She does not take many car rides, and she is as nervous in the car as some of these people that shouldn't be on a plane.
You know, as I'm driving, are you not a fan of such tight spaces?
No, not at all. No.
Would it help if I roll down the window?
Maybe. She rolls
I'll
down
roll
her
down the
window.
No.
She sticks her head out the window and lets her tongue out. No. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, we're going so fast.
If she actually did that, my guy might have to make a willpower roll not to laugh.
No, she didn't do that. We are going so fast. She says, looking out the window.
Well, if we went any slower, it would look suspicious, and we'd likely get pulled over for DUI.
I know, I've ridden in cars a couple of times.
Just out of curiosity, could you have turned into like an eagle and flew next to us or something instead of riding in the car?
I can only turn into one thing.
Oh.
The shapeshift power only allows us to turn our body into one form.
And she turns into a cat, right? Like a regular ass
She turns
house cat?
into a wolf.
Oh, a wolf. Okay, sorry. Gotcha. That's cool.
Oh, she left. She didn't bring the puma in the car. She left it in the park, by the way.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not in the car.
Yeah, Tinkerbell didn't come. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
you guys get
pulled
back to
over.
the old man's house.
All right. Like many people.
Valentina
so-
gets out and gets down on all fours. She doesn't kiss the ground or anything, but she's down on all fours for just a few seconds, making sure that the ground is solid.
You okay there?
Yeah. And she stands up. Yeah, I'm good. Just needed a
All right.
second to get my bearings. Not used to moving so
Okay,
fast.
Maybe next time it'd be better if we drove in like a truck and you can ride. Anyway,
I'm
I
fine.
think
Don't
just
worry
you,
about
me,
it. Let's
I
do
think
this.
you, me, and Jessica would be good. He's not exactly liking crowds. So the rest of you can stay out here.
She starts moving her way up towards the door. Speedy stays back with Hector.
All right,
I don't know what Mila's doing.
I'll start.
I'm gonna go invisible again.
Okay.
All right. I'll give 3 knocks on the door, and then I'll just follow up with, "It's Jack."
Oh man, I got hungrier.
What happened? Oh. Okay, the door opens. And Valentina is standing right in front of the door. He opens the door and he sees her. Valentina. And she says, Perry, you don't look so good. Yeah. And Perry looks at Jack. I told you to bring blood.
Oh. Got the source here, so she just comes in for a second, then she can leave. Right, Valentina?
Valentina pushes her way into the house.
Oh god, no! I screwed up. Okay, sorry. Back in character.
I'm gonna go in too, but
Okay.
I'm in.
Hector can see
Can
this
I come
happening,
in?
kind of like the tone change, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it apparent to me that what just happened is weird and it's kind of...
Not
might be going
coming
awry.
from Valentina's point of view. She doesn't seem to be acting any weird. Who's weird is Perry, and who's weird is Jack. Both of them just look like they saw a ghost.
So I say to Speedy, like, are we gonna have a problem here?
Well, the Baron does what the Baron wants.
Well, I mean, let's be clear, like, and just be real with me here, man. We all know James is the best. James is the best guy to be in that seat right now, right? This is not good. If he goes, that's not good for everybody. We all agree with that.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
Or is
So
there
does
stuff I'm missing?
Valentina. Valentina wants James
Okay.
to be sitting on the throne.
Okay.
Come on in, Perry.
Any flashbacks to
Valentina says as Perry's just standing there. And he turns and he goes inside. And I assume you guys are going to. What?
Yeah, if I catch Perry's eye for a second, I'm just gonna sort of like give him a look of like, I'm sorry.
So, and then I'm standing at the doorway thinking, okay, can I come in? Harry?
Okay, so yeah, you try to go in and you just can't bring yourself to go inside. And Perry stops and looks. What are you doing? Coming in. Come in, come in. And as soon as he says that, your mental block just stops. And you are perfectly free to enter at your own will.
Ooh, I forgot, that's a thing that afflicts us, is we have to get
No,
permission.
that is a thing that afflicts Jessica.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know why I just couldn't go in. And anyways,
Okay, so Valentina goes into the living room and turns around. Perry, they tell me that you have Prince James hidden somewhere. And Perry looks down. There's not much fight in him in facing her. I do. He's safe. Is he safer here or is he safer with me? She says. I think he's safer here. He's safer with me, Perry says. Will my blood wake him? I don't know. Bring me to him. I'm not gonna do that. And she walks right up into his face. Her eyes turn a glowing yellow, and she stares at him. Bring me to him. And he shakes his head. I'm not gonna do that. Fine. Take my blood.
Baron Valentine.
What?
Oh, okay. If she says that, fine, take my blood. Then I'm like, okay.
Okay. So you were about to jump in, and she holds out her wrist. Fine, take my blood. Okay. He goes into the kitchen and gets a cup and a knife. When he brings the knife, a claw comes out of her fingernail, like a big 2-inch claw, and she cuts her own wrist. He doesn't need the knife, and she squeezes her hand, and blood pours out of her cut wrist and into the glass. Okay. And then she licks her wrist, closes the wound. Perry's just standing there for a second, looking at the glass, and then he looks up and he says, "I need you all to leave."
Why don't we go, Valentine?
Yeah, and Valentina's fine. And she turns and she leaves. She pushes aside anybody who is standing in the hallway.
Alright, then I'll walk. Yes.
Does Mila stay?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
And as we're going, I'm just
Jessica leaves too? Jessica?
Sorry, I had myself muted because I was talking to a puppy.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you didn't want to hear me talking baby talk. It's
Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay. So you guys all leave except for Mila, so he thinks he's by himself. He does look
Thank
around.
you,
Yeah, hopefully it works. And he looks around, he says, "If there's any Nos in here, you should fucking leave too." Does Mila leave?
She does not like Nas.
No,
Okay.
I'm not Nos anyway.
And then he goes walking into the garage.
Okay, I follow him.
He
That all took
attempts,
is-
he opens the garage door just about 8 inches and squeezes himself through the door and then closes it behind him, attempting to make it so no invisible person can sneak in.
Alright, I'm gonna leave it there then.
You're gonna do what?
I'm just gonna leave.
Okay, you watch him do that and then you leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to risk him finding out I'm there. But, I mean, we know then James is somewhere down in the garage, so
Or something, yeah.
that's something. I mean, at least we know he's, like, around here.
Okay, we need to make a random die roll on Valentina. So, we're going to say if we roll an 8 or higher on one die, her blood potency is strong enough to wake him up. Because I never bothered determining what either of their blood potency is.
What die are we using?
I rolled it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are just waiting outside.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go outside and say, hey, I was gonna try and find out where he is, but that guy's pretty smart. And he basically made it so I could not follow him without him knowing. But he did go down into, like, his garage, so I'm sure, you know, Prince James is, like, right. He's on this property, obviously. So,
You told all of us that, including Valentina?
yeah, why not?
Valentina knows.
We just wait. Now we can wait and see what the results are. Hopefully,
She knows.
he
She
moves
knows
forward.
he's on this property. Because if he wasn't, he would have been, All right.
Yeah.
Out of character. The whole shit is silly.
that window.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and the guy is too old to be like jumping
Yeah.
walls in the
Like, jump
backyard
over fences
to
and-
go to a
Right.
different house. Yeah.
So I don't have any specifics of where he is anyway. That's other than garage.
Okay. You guys just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Seconds pass. Minutes pass. And then the garage door opens.
Oh, that's new. It's not the front door.
And
Yeah.
there's light in the garage. Like real light. Like light bulb light, not... There was in the house too, but he seems to also... You saw candles around? He uses kind of a cross between electricity and candles.
Huh.
Habits.
So he opens up the door. Says, "Come inside, come inside!" Valentina!
Based on his.
And Valentina goes running inside.
We'll follow.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody not follow? Speedy goes. Once you guys start going, Speedy goes too. He wasn't going to when Valentina took the first couple steps. But you guys invited yourself, so yeah, he's gonna go too. Okay, so you guys all go inside. And then he closes the garage door with you guys inside. He's stirring. So the garage is set up like a workshop, and there is an old beat up water heater that is opened up, and he's cleaning it. On the side on the side of the garage, there are several other ones that are in various, like, there's one that's been all cleaned up and it looks like it's good to be used again, and then there are a few that are all beat up, like this is his hobby or his job, whatever. And he goes over to the one in the middle of the three that are old and rusted and all beat up, and he looks down inside. And he motions for Valentina to come. And Valentina looks down inside and opens her wrist again. And she pours blood into the open water cooler. I keep saying water. It's a water heater. It's a tank water heater.
I'm gonna whisper to I guess I think this means
I think this means what?
I was whispering to Hector.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but what'd you say? You said.
I said I think this
what?
means it's working.
Oh. Yeah, and then I'm gonna say back to him. Yeah, I'm just starting to think about the whole blood bond thing, though.
True, but she may have been the only person we could have gotten. So
Yeah, there's
better
nothing,
than
nothing else we could do at this point, but just something to stay aware of.
Good point. Yeah, that is an interesting point. Anarchs control the Carmilla.
And Valentina licks the wound closed, takes a step back, and you can see somebody's hands reach up and grab the top of the tank, of the water heater tank, and then and Prince James pulls himself up, and
Hector's gonna step forward to try to help him out.
yeah, so is Perry. He takes a look at Perry. He says, "Perry? It's me, my prince." Oh, what's happened? How long has it been? Not that long. About 3 weeks. And with Hector's help also, you guys get him out of the water heater tank. So looking inside the water heater tank, it's got it's been the middle of it's been cut and removed and to make room for a body in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is James standing now?
Yeah, he's climbing out and he's standing.
Okay. As soon as he's fully stood up, I'll take a knee and a bow. Prince James, we have done our best to recover you as soon as possible.
Jack!
Hector's gonna hug him.
You hug him?
Yeah, Hector just hugs him. Oh man, good to see you again.
If anybody looks at Jack,
he hugs you back, and you see red tears streaming down Valentina's face, and she hugs him over Hector, like around Hector. Group hug.
Nice love sandwich.
Yeah.
No, Jack's just like, I took a knee, and everybody else is getting hugged.
I'm just
Come on, James. Get up and hug too.
Okay. Valentina's hug only lasted for a second. I don't know about Hector.
Hector's hanging on, like grabbing his ankle.
Oh, Hector always has to make it a little bit weird, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay. And Prince James motions for Jack to stand up. Stand up.
Yes, sir.
And he notices everybody here. You guys found me.
Yes, it took a trip to Hickory Grove.
What?
We did.
You went to Hickory Grove? Why the hell would you go to Hickory Grove?
Trying to find you.
Turning up every leave no stone unturned. I am a detective after all. I had to follow up on every lead.
Well, if it led you to me, good job. Good job. I need to feed. I'm not used to.
We can arrange for that. We can call a pizza.
We can call it pizza.
I mean, we haven't used it yet, but it's still a solid plan, personally.
It is.
Well, I mean, can we everybody offer him some? Would that help him?
It would if you wanted to offer that. Offer it in character if you want.
So, remember when I was new and you gave me some of your blood?
Yes.
Would you like some in return?
Yeah, let's do that.
And Hector says, "You got some of mine too. If you want, my prince."
Mine as well.
Yeah.
He
Gonna put me at 3.
He takes
I'm gonna have
some.
to feed
He
after
takes
this,
some from
but-
everybody. He doesn't take like a whole point because everybody wants to participate. But
Yeah.
you still lose a point.
This is like the scene from Lord of the Rings where it's like, you have my bow and my axe, but it's just you have my blood.
Yeah.
And you have my blood.
Exactly.
You have my blood.
Plus, he doesn't have to worry about being bonded to any of you because he just got bonded to Valentina.
Yay. Marvelous.
So, how long? 3 weeks, you said? And he looks over at Perry, and Perry nods. 3 weeks. What's happened? Perry kind of shrugs his shoulders. I've been out of the circle.
I'll look to Valentina. Would you like to explain, or us?
Well, this is your victory, Jack. Why don't you go ahead and explain?
I would say it's our victory. I'll sort of look at the other group members. After the battle 3 weeks ago and your disappearance, those thought you to be dead, at best missing.
Makes sense.
Sabat have continued their attacks, almost in broad daylight, killing numerous people on the news, but of course turning them in reality.
Okay.
Goldman has taken over as interim prince
As expected.
He seems to hope. Permanent prince.
As expected.
He attempted to. Well, let me explain this. While you were being assaulted by bombs and bullets in the hotel, we were assaulted in the four-way intersection by a Sabbat warrior, two of them. We, well, completely, and beat back the other, and then we continued with our mission at the club.
Oh, that's
meet
right.
Vincent.
You were delivering the message. The
We
envelope.
delivered the message,
Okay.
and as that message was delivered, Rodrigo showed up with his
crap.
warriors. We were surrounded. We attempted to exit stealthily through a back entrance, only to encounter some bot members there. They killed an innocent woman. We attempted to flee. They pursued. We defended ourselves, and we killed all three of them.
Wow.
After that, the Sabbat wanted us, and Goldman was too much of a coward to tell them no. He insisted on holding a trial for us, which was likely just a show to offer up to him as appeasement. We've been on the run, and Valentina has been gracious enough to provide us shelter.
So what happened in the trial?
Oh, we ran.
There was no trial because we were gonna go, but Enriquez showed up and fought off the Rat King.
Okay.
And told us to run.
Wow. Did either of them die?
No.
Okay, good. We need them.
We were.
Prince James, if I may ask, what happened during the attack? Like, how did you get away? You ended up in torpor. Then how did they not capture you? How'd you end up here?
I didn't get away.
Eva.
I didn't get away.
Well, then why aren't you there? Why?
Perry
how are you
says
not their prisoner then?
I was able to get him out of there. Perry says.
So how did you get him out of there? Like, how did that whole thing? If they managed to knock him out into torpor or whatever, then how did you manage to get him out of that building?
It actually wasn't that difficult once they thought they killed him. I only had to fight off a few of them. Shovelheads mostly. Had no idea what they were doing.
So who was it that put him into torpor? That's what I'm saying. Like, how did they not make sure he was dead? You could tell when you kill a kindred, right? We turn into ash.
Yes. Because I killed them. The old man says. Straight-faced.
Okay.
Well,
this was definitely Rodrigo's people then?
This was Rodrigo's people, yes. Yes. Perry says.
with the past now, would you be able to reascend your throne, Prince James?
I don't know, I have to gauge the situation.
Fair enough. Well, we are all at your service. You are the true leader of the Carmel.
And he looks over at Valentina. And she nods her head. You can stay with us. Stay with us for now. Gather information, find out what's going on. Take back your spot. Okay, so Prince James looks at Perry. You don't look so good, my friend. And he holds out his wrist. And Perry shakes his head. I think it's time I let go. And they hug. And then Perry opens the garage door so you guys can all leave.
So I stick out my hand toward Perry and I say, "Hey, thanks for your service."
And he shakes your hand.
Walk out.
You're a good kid. Keep it together.
Seeing that, I'll also go up to him and I'll just offer up my hands. I hope you are rewarded for the good that you've done.
I think
Check it.
I'm beyond
I don't
looking
know
for
what to make
reward,
of that.
and now I just want some rest.
I hope that you do get rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and you guys all leave.
Okay.
Are we leaving him and Prince James to have like a final like?
Nope,
goodbye
Prince James
moment,
is
or-
getting in your car.
He's just no.
Like, cool. Well, that's the end of that
I'm
chapter.
awake.
It's the beginning of another, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I
so
don't-
yeah, you guys go back to sleep with Speedy. You don't know where Prince James slept, but this is the end of our little story right here.
I would have asked when we get back in the car. I would have.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I want to tell like Valentina like, hey, thanks a lot. You're really solid. That was really. And, also, I want to ask questions like, with the goal, if he had taken Prince James's blood, would he have become young again, or would he have stayed
No.
old?
No. He wouldn't have turned
Okay.
young again. It would have
Okay.
it would
And
have
then,
stopped the progression of age from here.
Okay. And would he have been like super strong for like an 80-year-old or whatever he is?
Oh yes. Yes.
Okay. And then like if he had chosen to turn him, right? Would he have when he turns he would like stayed old forever?
Yes. The exact same as you are the moment you're embraced.
But is that just appearance or like functionally like would he and I be similar in terms of actual like abilities or what?
Yeah, you'll still be quite similar. Yes, all of his mortal pains, those go away. Your body dies. You don't have the muscle pains from age or any of that nonsense.
Okay. So he's just
Just
he
like
would've
you don't
just
have
been
it now.
forced
I mean, you're a fighter. You're still young, but you're a fighter. You probably have a few sore spots before your embrace, and you don't have those anymore, do you?
Nah, all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was 18. I'm 18, so
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just wondering if that crotchety old man now all of a sudden feels like an 18-year-old again when they turn him. But he just
I don't
looks
know
like a
about
crotchety old
18,
man.
but he doesn't have the old, the old pains and the back pains and knee pains and all that crap that you get just from not being kindred. He doesn't get any of that
He still
crap
have
anymore.
is he still weak? Like muscle-wise, is he still weak?
No.
Okay. So then, I mean, so why? Yeah, I'm thinking. So then I guess I asked Prince James, say, hey, if that's your boy and you guys go way back, why not offer to make him one of us?
He never wanted it. He never wanted it.
Thanks.
James is kind of hanging his head. He's not really chipper right now.
Hmm.
Sorry, man.
So what happened to Ava?
So that was another one of my questions for you. Do you think Perry might have known? Because maybe go
He
back and
would've
ask
told-
him.
Yeah. I think it's if she's not
Do you want me to
around.
run back in and ask him? I can run
I
back
don't-
in there for you.
I don't think that's necessary.
There's no trouble. I mean, we probably want to know where she is, right?
No, I think we know where she is.
Is that dead?
That's dead, yes.
God, I'm gonna pull Hector to the side Be like, yes, and she's
I mean, everybody said that about Prince James though, and he's not dead. So maybe there's hope. You know, so maybe is the van door, like, are we still in front of the house?
No, you guys are in the car.
Yeah, but like, I mean, has the car already pulled off? Because like,
That's
Hector,
up to you.
I'll just open that van door. I'm gonna run back in the house. I'm gonna, like, before anybody can say anything else, I'm just gonna pull it out.
All right.
I'm gonna
You
knock
get back
on
to the door. You knock on the door. Oh, God damn it!
Like, I'm like, hey, sorry to bother you again, but we forgot to ask you about Ava.
I couldn't save
Did you see
both.
what happened to her?
I couldn't save them both.
I mean, is she definitely, you saw her die with your own eyes?
I didn't see her dust. No. I saw her
What
going
was the
toward
last-
her. They could have took her. It's possible.
So definitely, if she's still alive, so she's either dead or she's in their hands.
The Sabbat don't take prisoners. So, well, I mean, she's not important enough for them to have taken prisoner. I don't think. I assume she's dead.
Okay.
But
All right. Well, thank you
I mean,
again.
like
Sorry
I said,
about
though, it's possible that they have her. But don't hold your breath.
And so, like, I'm about to walk off, and I just kind of hesitate, and I hang around, like, hey, let me ask you, like, you know, you don't
He rolls
have
his
to
eyes.
go. I'm like, you know, you don't have to go, right? You know, like, you got a van full of kindred that hold, you know, we respect you, and if you wanted to keep living and, you know,
You mean not living? Yeah, no thanks. No,
all right.
I'm happy with the way I'm
So-
going out. I got to keep my friend alive. I never wanted to
Alright.
be kindred, but it was a fun ride to go with him. And now, look at me. No, I don't want to continue this. And truth to tell, the last couple of years I've already been thinking that it was time to rest.
All right, and I just kind of, like, you know, nod at him. I go, respect, you know, tap my heart with my fist, and then.
Now, if you kids will leave me the fuck alone, I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Cool. All right, and I head back over toward the.
Okay.
Jog
That's a nice
back
crib
over
here.
there, and I
Nice
get in.
crib.
You what?
Huh?
Nice crib.
Yeah.
Got a nice crib, man.
I head back over to the van. I get in. I go, yeah. So he didn't see her die. But he said, you know, he could only save one of them, and like, so he didn't actually see her turn into ashes, but he doesn't think that they would take prisoners. So chances are she's dead, but we don't know 100% for sure. She could just be their prisoner.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gone.
And so, like, you know, I just kind of put my hand on, or, like, you know, lightly put my hand on James's shoulder and say, "I'm sorry, sir."
Yeah. Well, that's part of war and part of being kindred. Hopefully I'll remember her. Oh, let's get this thing going. And you guys drive away. Okay, we're done. This was a long session.
Yeah, I'm sleepy.
So, as we leave, why don't we?
Good then.
Who have we already talked awesome shit about? We started with. We did Janina. Who do we do next?
Lynn.
Did we do Lynn?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've done me.
Okay. Then this time let's do Chapin and Jack. Let's talk some
Alright.
good shit about Chapin and Jack, because this was kind of their story anyway.
I like that. You know, the character. I think he's staying really true to the character. He's taking command of these situations where his skills really shine. And he's like this voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for a lot of times where like Hector will fly off to do something impetuous, Jack is kind of like the hanging back and keeping us kind of
That's true. In a lot of ways, you guys are kind of opposite.
But surprisingly, like they work well together.
Yeah.
There hasn't been like a real personality clash. It's instead they've complemented each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not really. There hasn't been like a serious issue.
Right.
Anyone
As
else?
irritating as the 18-year-old stuff might be to the rest of the group. I'm doing my best, by the way. That's like weird. I'm doing my best to play what I think is this personality.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm almost feeling like this group of people is getting to know this fake person instead of really me. But it's
that's fine.
But that's how it should be, really.
Yeah.
No.
That's another part of the reason why I want to have little conversations at the end. Because we get to know each other on an out-of-character level.
Yeah, because it's what, ironically, personality-wise, I'm probably more like Jack.
Yeah.
Like the real me.
Actually, I think you are, yeah. Anybody else? Well, we are congratulating Jack.
Right?
What?
He does a good job of, being very detective-y.
Yeah.
I know he
kind
kind
of
of really played into that role really, really well.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite Jack scene was when you guys were driving to go meet Valentina, and then I don't remember what happened, but he realized that his family was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite Jack scene, where he called his wife and she was asleep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's an important scene for his character because it really frames Jack's actions and how he's trying to make things work, and maybe succeeding, but probably going to tragically fail in the end because there's going to be no good solution to the circumstance.
Right. That's what Vampire's all about. Having to make the best wrong decision.
Yep. Which we're really good at.
Okay. Anyone else have anything you want to add? Oh, and everybody gets an experience point, by the way. Who wants me to add it for them?
If you don't mind.
I closed it.
That's okay.
Everybody? Okay.
I haven't been adding them after this session, so
I
don't think I've spent any.
Yeah, I don't think you spent any. Everybody was up to date, so I guess I'll just do it. Jack is at 9.
Yeah, so this would put me at 10, right?
Yeah, everybody should be at the same level except for me because I missed one.
Yeah.
One back.
So, Serious Jess, you got yours?
I can do it right now. I have the page up. So, 10. I go to 10, right?
You got two different boxes. They should both be at 10. One is your running total, and the other is your current.
Yep.
Okay, Janina, we are at 7 to spend and 10 in total. And Mila should be the same, I believe.
As we start to, because we've been talking in the chat kind of about how we go, as we start to figure out how we're going to handle these 20 years. I've been trying to I guess, think of ways, because I'm going down, I think I want to go down that paradigm of the Book of Tyler or whatever that is.
Okay, yeah.
So somehow I want to hook up with this underground network or whatever, but
okay.
I gotta say, although I was made Bruja, this whole thing with, what's Mila Sire's name now, which he should be?
Enrique?
No, Mila Sire.
Oh, Mila Sire. Mashira Basha.
Yeah, so that whole exchange for him really, that appeals to him. You know what I mean? Basically he could use his skill set to do that. So even though he wasn't made Banu Hakim, that could be a possible trek, or I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know if there's paradigms that maybe is that available for me to maybe go down one of those.
Not really.
I don't know what you call those.
Not really. But also, there aren't infernal vampires fucking everywhere. So,
Right.
But if
I mean, but the concept of him like taking like a sabbatical or whatever to go off with Mila and her sire
that-
and learn like the
that-
arts
you
is,
still could, especially
and maybe
since,
have a relationship with this lady that he connects with. That would be something cool.
Yeah, I'll look into that. But
Is she? How
for the
old is she,
most
by
part-
the way? When she was like,
Oh,
does she look like his age or
she's
something like that?
22. She looks 22.
Okay.
She was 22
Okay.
when she was killed.
Okay. And my guy's like 18, so that I mean, that works. I guess give Stella her groove back.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, that also sounds somewhat appealing to Jack if like the
Yep.
whole make things
Nice.
work stuff falls through. Because
That's right.
Jack became a police officer to try to like help the community and like try to stop those who are hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of is like, oh wow, there's like a big bad, and those are the people. I should probably.
Yeah. And I think
Is Jack cool with violating like procedure like that though? Because we're talking about assassinating.
Oh, it would have to be like a paradigm shift in terms of like his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Jack's family was all killed and like he had to lose his career and everything, then that would definitely be like maybe he'll just shift.
Well, his
Focuses.
career's already in trouble, so we got to resolve that.
Oh, yeah.
Figure out. Yeah, because right now the
maybe we'll
Sabbat,
get
the
that
Sabbat know his
so.
name, so
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight a war to like get my career back in place.
Okay, well, let's cut the recording. Anybody have anything you want to say to the one or two people that are listening?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep,
Thanks.
thank you. I hope you had
I'm
fun.
enjoying the story.
Yeah. Okay, and we're done.